So right now we have 32 NHL teams on this wheel right here, and we're going to go ahead and spin this wheel, and it looks like the first team is going to be the Toronto Maple Leafs. Now what are we doing today? We're rebuilding every single NHL team in one video. All 32 NHL teams are going to be rebuilt in today's video, and it looks like we're going to be starting with the team that has a 56-year Stanley Cup drought, the Toronto Maple Leafs. This is the perfect way to start the video off. So we've got ourselves the Toronto Maple Leafs, the first team we're going to be starting with, and honestly this is a great team to start with because there's not really too many moves we need to do here. I want to clean up the bottom six a little bit. Of course, we got to work on the defense here. We have to build an absolutely elite defense, and right now it's actually not terrible. I don't mind this first pairing, but you know what? The third pairing could use a bit of work here. And then when it comes to goaltending, we need a superstar here. We need at least an 87 overall goaltender, so that's the other trade we're going to be making. So when it comes to making trades, there's only one rule. I'm only allowed 5 trades max. With a lot of these teams, I'm probably only going to be making 3, but with the really bad teams such as the San Jose Sharks, Chicago Blackhawks, Anaheim Ducks, then I'm going to be making 5 trades because those teams are definitely going to need a lot more work. A team like the Toronto Maple Leafs, they really don't need too much work to be even better than what they are. A team like the Toronto Maple Leafs, they already have a great foundational core. We just have to tweak a couple things. So with that being said, it's time for us to start making some trades here. But first, a quick word from today's sponsor. So I want to give a massive shout out to SeatGeek for sponsoring today's video. As we know, SeatGeek's the best place for getting tickets for your favorite sporting events and concerts. If you want to watch baseball, hockey, basketball, or even see a concert from time to time, SeatGeek's the place to do it. SeatGeek is going to be ranking every single ticket. So if you see green, you're getting a great deal. If you see red, not the greatest deal. So on top of SeatGeek being the best place to buy your tickets, I got a deal for you. If you use code SOTI at checkout, you're going to be getting $20 off your first order. So once again, I want to thank SeatGeek for sponsoring this video, and remember, code SOTI for $20 off your first order. So here's the first deal we're going to do. David Kampf and Stolars are both going to be shipped out alongside Cowan. We're going to bring in Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. We need a better goaltender here, and you know what? He's an 86 overall. He can definitely be the goaltender we're looking for here. So this is going to be trade number 1. We might have been able to get a 3rd round pick back or something, but it wouldn't have been able to be too much more. Now we're going to make a couple more deals. So this is the next deal that I'm looking at, and this would help our defense a ton here, bringing a guy like Ivan Provorov. We're also going to bring in JVR. He can be a good bottom 6 piece. Lorentz is going to have to be lost in this deal. Benoit is going to be lost, and Ryan Reeves. But honestly, I can live with losing all these guys right here. Now the real question is, can we get this done with a 2nd and 3rd rounder? I highly doubt it. They also have to retain half of Provorov's contract, so more than likely we're going to have to trade a 1st round pick in this deal. But if I'm giving up that 1st round pick, I kind of want to get something back, but I don't think we're going to be able to, so I'm just going to offer that over. They're saying no because they don't want to retain money. What if I give you a 2nd rounder? Like, I'll overpay just for you to retain money here. I'm going to send this package over. They're not willing to accept this, so I think we'll just shrink the deal down to this, just picking up JVR. He's an 82 overall. He's an upgrade here. He can play some bottom 6 minutes, but we do need to upgrade the defense. Now this will be the final deal, and it's just going to be 2 guys to be our 3rd pairing defenseman. We're picking up Nate Schmidt. We're going to pick up Nico Mikkola, a St. Louis Blues legend. This is a good deal for us. We get rid of the Ryan Reeves contract, and Ryan Reeves, he's not even playing any minutes for us, or at least I hope he's not going to be playing any bottom 6 minutes. We can definitely find an upgrade from Ryan Reeves. I'm going to add a 3rd rounder into this deal. Florida's going to be accepting, and I think Toronto's ready to win. So with the 3 trades we made, not only is the bottom 6 looking better as JVR was brought to the team here, he's going to be a great addition to the 3rd line. He's certainly going to help us in the postseason. When it comes to the defense, we got ourselves a new 3rd pairing, Nico Mikkola, Nate Schmidt. We have a great defensive defenseman, Nico Mikkola, a great 2-way defender, Nate Schmidt. Yeah, he's 33 years old, but you know what? I know for a fact he can hold it down for us. And when it comes to goaltending, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you're taking over this season. I need a massive season from Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, especially if we're going to be winning in year number 1. Because every single one of these rebuilds are 1-season rebuilds. I rebuild the Toronto Maple Leafs for 1 year, then we're moving on. So that means every single trade we make is going to mean that much more. We can't trade for young guys who are going to develop. We have to trade for guys that are going to help this team win right now, and I think that's exactly what we did here. So we'll go ahead, simulate the entire season, then we'll get ready for the postseason. And I know for a fact Toronto's making the postseason. They've one of the greatest coaches of all time coaching them, Craig Berube, and if that man can save St. Louis, he can save Toronto. Well, if there's anyone out there that doubted the trades I made, I clearly made the right ones. We're going to be 5th in the entire league, a 51-24-4 record. The offense was looking great. The defense was also looking pretty solid here. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you must have had an amazing year. Austin Matthews leading the way with 98 points here. 98 points is going to include 52 goals. Mitch Marner did his thing, picking up 96. John Tavares was also holding it down the 1st line, picking up 85 points, while William Nylander is going to be leading the 2nd line. He's picking up 69 points. Was expecting a bit more from him, but at the end of the day, it just doesn't matter because Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you were that man. 40 wins, 6 shouts, and 915 at 276. 6. I can certainly win with those numbers, especially if they're going to be better in the postseason. We're taking on the Detroit Red Wings in the first round. We got to make a statement. We got to win with our first team here, and that means we have to make it out of the first round with the Toronto Maple Leafs. That's going to be very difficult, isn't it? No, for the longest time, I was gassed about the Toronto Maple Leafs being our first team, and then I realized that we actually have to win in the postseason with the Toronto Maple Leafs, and this is the Toronto Maple Leafs we're talking about. We're about to get swept to the Detroit Red Wings, aren't we? Yeah, this doesn't surprise me. I don't care if we're 5th in the entire league. We are the Toronto Maple Leafs. This just seems fitting. In the final game of the season, we beat Detroit 4-1, but that doesn't matter because Detroit's going to somehow beat us here, but maybe not. The boys are dominating. We've won back-to-back games. Shout out to Austin Matthews. I think he picked up a trick here. We're still alive. I mean, all we have to do is make a 3-0 series comeback. Like, it can't be that difficult. Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you stood on your head in the past 2 games. You got to keep doing that. If Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen plays amazing, we're going to beat the Red Wings, and we're off to Game 7. Unless there's the biggest choke in Toronto Maple Leafs history here, we're winning this one. We got Game 7. So the boys were down 3-0 in the series, but none of that matters. It all comes down to one game. One game to make it to the second round. This isn't even to win the Stanley Cup. This is just to make it to the second round. The boys are absolutely flying. We learned our lesson. A 3-0 series comeback. How did the Toronto Maple Leafs do that? Out of all teams, the Toronto Maple Leafs made that comeback. If we don't win a Stanley Cup here, we're moving on to the second round. We're taking on the Florida Panthers. This team's won 4 straight games. We can't stop here. We have all the momentum, and we're dropping game number 1. Why am I not surprised? But we did win game 2. We won game number 3. Can we win game 4, take a commanding 3-1 series lead? Yes, we can. We closed out here, and we moved on to the conference finals. A place the Toronto Maple Leafs haven't been in a long time. No, this team's not messing around anymore. So the boys got a lot of momentum moving into the conference finals. I don't even know when the last time Toronto was here. I probably wasn't even born yet, but that doesn't matter. We're taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. Let's just keep on winning games. So here we go, Toronto. You got to win 4 games and you're in the Stanley Cup final. I know that doesn't seem real. You almost swept the Tampa Bay Lightning. This team's really not messing around here. This team's really about to blow a 3-0 series lead. Never mind. We've made to the Stanley Cup final, taking on the Dallas Stars. Toronto winning year number 1 here. We've won 3 straight games. We dropped game number 1, but who cares? We're going to win a Stanley Cup with the Toronto Maple Leafs. Just don't choke. Whatever you do, do not choke here. Please, Toronto. You are going to be one of the most difficult teams to win with just because you're the Toronto Maple Leafs. Don't blow a 3-1 series lead on me. Why are you doing this to me? You guys really did that. How many goals did we allow in the second period? 5 goals. We allowed 5 goals in the second period. Ain't no way y'all just did that. You really let me down like that. Jamie Benn, 2 goals, 1 assist here. Logan Stankoven had a goal and an assist. Bro played 11 minutes and picked up 2 points. David Perron, I don't know why you're on this team. I guess Dallas made a trade for you, but you played 9 minutes and picked up 2 points. No, what happened? What happened to this Toronto Maple Leafs team? Game 7 of the Stanley Cup final. We had a 3-1 series lead. The boys were dominating, and then we proceeded to allow 14 goals in 2 games. You can't even make that up. You had 3 elimination games and you lost all 3 of them. Austin Matthews was over a goal per game in the postseason. This man had 26 goals in 25 games. I can't ask any more from him. He literally did as much as he could. Mitch Marner, 37 points. He did as much as he could. Morgan Riley, 27 points. Can't ask for more. Johnny T, 21 points. JVR had 12 goals and 7 assists for 19 points. And you're telling me this team's not winning? Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, you choked. You choked on me. You let me down. 14 goals in 2 games. You have to be kidding me. In the final 2 games, both of them being elimination games for the Dallas Stars, 14 goals in 2 games. Nah, spin the wheel. Let's get away from Toronto. Nah, like, ain't no way. We just allowed 14 goals in 2 games. 7 goals per game in a 2-game stretch. We're going from the Toronto Maple Leafs to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Columbus, in the last 10 years, you basically have the same amount of success as the Toronto Maple Leafs do in the postseason. When it comes to rounds won, that actually might not be an incorrect statement. I think that actually is true. So we're moving on to the Blue Jackets, a very different team from the Toronto Maple Leafs. But you know what? We do have JVR here, and JVR showed up for the Toronto Maple Leafs, so why wouldn't he show up for the Columbus Blue Jackets? We already got a great forward core here, a great defensive core. Honestly, when it comes to overalls, this team actually isn't in a bad spot. The only thing they're missing is that true superstar. Like, we have 80 overalls on the 4th line, so that's great, but what we really need here is a true superstar, and we also need a great goaltender because we're lacking in the goaltending department. But you know what? We have some great assets we can trade away here. I think we'll be able to craft a really good team here pretty easily. So the one good thing about the Columbus Blue Jackets, they have a lot of cap space. So Mo Sider, you could potentially be joining our team here. Caden Lindstrom, Gavin Brindley, both you guys are going to be shipped out. They're going to be saying no. They do want Caden Lindstrom in this deal, but they don't want Gavin Brindley. What if I gave you Denton Matejchuk. So I'm assuming Denton Matejchuk must have pretty similar value. It looks like he does. So if we did a package like this, would you be interested? Detroit's saying no, but we got to have some draft picks here. So we'll include St. Louis's 4th rounder and Columbus's 4th rounder. I'll offer this package over. They're saying no, but we just need a 7th round pick. The lucrative 7th round pick is going to save the day here, and it's coming from Vegas. So Mo Sider, welcome to the team. Big moves are being made already. Now, I don't want to trade our 1st round pick away in this deal, but I think we're probably going to have to. David Jiricek, you've moved down to being a 3rd pairing defenseman for us, and because of that, I don't really want to keep you on this team just because you don't have the greatest line fit here. So I'm going to trade you, Gavin Brindley, a 2nd and 3rd rounder. We're getting our future goaltender. He's not really a future goaltender though. He's the goaltender for this season. We're bringing in Kochetkov. We're also going to be bringing in Seth Jarvis here. He's going to be a great sniper playing on the top line. He's going to give us a lot of offensive firepower. They're actually willing to say yes to this deal, right? What if I take the 3rd rounder out? They're still willing to say yes to that. What if I don't even give you a 2nd at all? Like if I just give you this 3rd round pick, is that going to be enough to get this deal done? They're willing to say yes to that. We're finessing them. All right, so this is going to be the final deal, and then I think Columbus is going to be ready to win. A 1st round pick, Soulsville, and then one of the other prospects is going to be sent over to the Rangers. We're bringing in Braden Schneider. He's going to play some good defensive minutes for us. Will Cooley's also going to join the team, as well as Jimmy Vesey. Jimmy Vesey, I'm not really too worried about bringing to the team here. If we're able to steal him in this deal, I'll take it, but it doesn't look like it. So Jimmy Vesey, I guess you're not going to be joining the team, but we will get Braden Schneider, and we will get Will Cooley. Now, the biggest issue that we had with the Columbus Blue Jackets was bringing in another superstar. But you know what? Seth Jarvis, you might not be a superstar, but you're a great young talent in the league. 87 overall, you're certainly going to be helping. Will Cooley's also going to jump onto that 1st line. He's an 84 overall. I would say we actually have a lot of really good forward depth here, but we are still missing that superstar. However, the defense is going to make up for it. We got Mo Sider, we got Braden Schneider, 2 great pieces here. We're getting a +5 boost on the 1st pairing, a +1 boost on the 2nd, so you know what? The defense is going to be locked down, and then with Kochetkov in between the pipes, that's going to make the big difference. The Columbus Blue Jackets might be missing that star power, but you know what? We got depth from top to bottom. We have no weak lines here. We can run 4 lines in every single situation, and that's going to be helping us a ton here. So let's go ahead and make the postseason and win a Stanley Cup, unlike the Toronto Maple Leafs. Alright, so the goal in today's video, obviously, to rebuild every team and try to win every team a Stanley Cup. We want to go 32 for 32 here. Unfortunately, that won't be happening with the Columbus Blue Jackets, as this team missed the playoffs, a 40-33-9 record. But you know what? There's a very simple explanation for this. You remember how last season the Nashville Predators got really hot towards the end of the season? Well, the Columbus Blue Jackets actually did the exact opposite of that, and in the final 20 games of the season, basically lost almost every single one. Like, it was actually impressive. No, like, real talk, there's no reason the Columbus Blue Jackets should miss the playoffs. This team was basically playoff bound at the trade deadline. Like, if you were to ask me what percentage, I would have said 95. Like, we had a 95% chance at making the playoffs at the trade deadline, and then something completely flipped right after that. This was a completely different team. Even though by the trade deadline we had 34 wins under our belt, this team just said, nah, we're gonna play a completely different style of hockey to finish out the season. And you know what that style of hockey was? It was called losing games, because that is exactly what this team did. They just lost games, and then they lost some more games, and then they lost some more games. After the trade deadline, we won like 5 games. This team really won 5 games after the trade deadline. Honestly, it's impressive. Actually, I take that back. We won 6 games after the trade deadline. 6 games won after the trade deadline. I gotta give it to you, Columbus. You guys impressed me here. You impressed me with the fact that you had a 95% chance at the postseason and somehow missed. Not too many teams can do that. So we went from losing in Game 7 of the Stanley Cup Final with the Toronto Maple Leafs to missing the postseason with the Columbus Blue Jackets after having a 95% chance of making the postseason. You can't even make this up. We're moving on to our next team. We're going to be heading over to the West Coast. Our first West Coast team, that's going to be the Los Angeles Kings. So we're moving on over to the LA Kings, and they've got themselves a pretty solid forward core. Anze Kopitar, Kevin Fiala, Adrian Kempe. Then we got Lafreniere, Philip Deneau, Quinton Byfield. That's actually a pretty solid top 6. Lafreniere, though, I can't guarantee you're going to be sticking on this top 6 because we might be making a move here. When it comes to the defense, thankfully Drew Doughty's here. We got Jordan Spence, Brant Clark. We actually have a pretty solid defense. Even goaltending isn't too bad here. Darcy Kemper, you're definitely playing better than 82 overall. Before I do anything else here, I need to know what overall Stuart Skinner is. Now, I'm not saying Darcy Kemper is a superstar by any means, but you can't convince me that Stuart Skinner should be a higher overall than him. Stuart Skinner's an 84. I don't think that's fair. With the way Stuart Skinner's been playing this season, you can't tell me he should be a higher overall than Darcy Kemper. Like, I'm sorry, but you just cannot convince me with the way Stuart Skinner's playing this season and the way Darcy Kemper is playing this season that they're not the same overall. Like, if anything, I think you can make the argument Darcy Kemper should be a higher overall than Stuart Skinner. Now, granted, I do understand they take take past years into consideration, and Darcy Kemper was atrocious last year, so we're not going to forget that. But for a bit of context, these are the numbers Stuart Skinner basically has right now. So if we're going to take past years into consideration here, I feel like Darcy Kemper and Stuart Skinner should both be an 82 overall. That's not a stick on the ice opinion, that's a stick on the ice fact. There is no way Stuart Skinner should be 2 overalls higher. Alright, so Darcy Kemper, after gassing up how good you've been this season, I'm going to trade you away alongside Green Tree and a 3rd round pick. We're going to bring in John Gibson. He's getting paid about $1.2 million more, but he's an 85 overall, so we're going to see a 3 overall increase. That's going to be pretty good for the LA Kings. We need to see a slightly improved goaltender here, but we do have to work on the rest of the team. So the LA Kings are going to turn out to be one of those teams where we're going to do multiple trades here just because we have to free up cap space. So Edmondson, you're going to be sent over to the Dallas Stars. We're getting a 2nd and 3rd rounder. And then the next trade we have to do is getting rid of Tanner Janot. I can't pay this man borderline $2 million. I don't even care what we get. I'll take the 7th round pick. So after making those deals, we freed up some cap space. Now we can bring Braden McNabb and Brett Howden to the team. These are 2 guys that are certainly going to help us a ton here. Braden McNabb, you're going to play some great 3rd pairing minutes. Brett Howden, you're probably going to play on the bottom 6, preferably the 3rd line, but we still have to make one more trade. So this is going to be the final trade. Turcotte, a couple picks and a prospect over to the Red Wings. Christian Fischer, Rasmussen, Joe Veleno, all 3 of these guys are going to be acquired here. We need some bottom 6 help, and that's what they're going to supply for us. So here's what the new look LA Kings are going to be looking like. The top 6 is going to be staying exactly the same. Brett Howden, Christian Fischer, you're going to be joining the 3rd line. Then we're going to see Joe Veleno and Rasmussen join the 4th line here. That's going to give this team a lot more depth. Defensively, Braden McNabb's helping so much here. We're going to end up getting a +3 boost on the 1st pairing. Then we're going to get a +4 boost on the 3rd pairing. Just by bringing Braden McNabb to the team, the defense is getting significantly better. And then in between the pipes, we got John Gibson, 85 overall. He's going to be our starter. He's going to lead this team to the postseason. On top of that, he's probably going to lead us to a Stanley Cup. Now, the LA Kings had a very similar record to the Columbus Blue Jackets at the trade deadline. I think it was a difference of like 1 or 2 wins. But there was one difference to finish out the season. This team actually decided to win games. When push came to shove, this team's going to win games down the stretch. They're going to make it into the postseason, 9th in the entire league. They have a subpar offense, but they do have a really good defense. And I think that amazing defense is what's really going to matter in the postseason. We have the 3rd best goals against right now. Yeah, this team better lock in though, because offensively, we are not good enough here. Kopitar led the way with 67 points. 67 points should not lead the way. Offensively, we are very much lacking on this team, but you know what? Defensively, we're holding it down, and we're holding it down when it matters most. John Gibson, I need you to look elite heading into the postseason. The numbers you're putting up right now aren't going to be enough. I need you to step it up one more notch here. We have the Edmonton Oilers in the 1st round. Why am I not surprised we're taking on Edmonton in the 1st round? If LA really wants to prove themselves, we've got to get past Edmonton. Now, if I were to be honest, this is the worst team we could match up against. So what happened in game number 1? Oh, we allowed 8 goals. We might have scored 6, but we allowed 8 goals. Edmonton's offense just might be too much for us. They're scoring 5 goals in game number 2, 3 goals in game number 3. Just don't get swept. Okay, great work, LA. Didn't even put up the slightest fight. Nah, but LA really went down like that. A sweep against the Edmonton Oilers. The boys didn't even put up the slightest fight here. They're going to be falling. We are 3 teams in, and we're yet to win a Stanley Cup. Ever since Toronto lost in year number 1, we just haven't been the same. They blew a 3-1 series lead. I still haven't gotten over that. 14 goals allowed in 2 games. And ever since that happened, no team has looked the same. The Columbus Blue Jackets, a 95% chance at making the postseason at the trade deadline. Absolutely choked. Those guys were absolute frauds. The LA Kings didn't look too bad down the stretch. We finished 9th in the entire league. We should be able to put up a slight fight against the Edmonton Oilers. What did we proceed to do? Absolutely fold. Like, we folded in spectacular fashion. You know what? I got to give it to the LA Kings. If we lost a close series to the Edmonton Oilers, you know what? Just the way it goes. It was a close series. You know what? We battled hard. But nope, we were dominated in absolutely every single game. It wasn't even close. John Gibson, you had an 864 and a 487. An 864 and a 487. I cannot stress that enough. Bro was almost allowing 5 goals per game. We were the 3rd best defensive team, and then we proceeded to allow almost 5 goals per game. Bro really allowed 18 goals in 4 games. I have no words to describe what happened. Like, I don't even know where you go from there. Like, we were the 3rd best defensive team, and in the postseason, we were the worst defensive team by a significant margin. Like, we weren't even comparable to any other team in the league. We're moving on to our next team. We're sticking in the Western Conference. It's going to be the Nashville Predators. Nashville, as I'm recording this, you're currently the worst team in the entire league. I don't even know how that's possible. That means you're worse than the Chicago Blackhawks. How are you worse than the Chicago Blackhawks? Like, honestly, you deserve an award for that, because that doesn't even make sense. So we're moving on to the Nashville Predators, and I still haven't figured out how this team is as bad as they are. Now, granted, Nashville did go on a massive hot streak to end last season, so maybe that skewed what their record was. But that doesn't really matter how much that changed the record. You brought Steven Stamkos to the team. Granted, he isn't the player he used to be, but he's still a great player for Nashville, and he's definitely an improvement. You brought in Jonathan Marchessault. Yeah, he's 33 years old. Maybe he's starting to age out a little bit, but still, he's an upgrade for the team. And then you brought in Brady Shea, 86 overall. He's only 30 years old. He still is what he is. You guys shouldn't be this bad. There is no reason the Nashville Predators should currently be last in the entire league. That's absolutely ridiculous. UC Saros, you're a great goaltender. I'm going to be honest, I don't really know what I do with this Nashville team. Like, how many trades do I really make here? I think we have a really good core here. I think the defensive core is pretty solid. Maybe make an improvement to the right side, and that's probably what we'll do here. But even though you guys are dead last in the entire league right now, I actually don't want to make too many trades here. I think this is a good core. Nashville is just one of those very few teams right now in NHL 25 where on paper, they're a good team. In real life, they are not a good team. There's just a massive difference between real life and NHL 25, as it should be. I mean, NHL 25 is not going to be an exact replica of everything happening in real life. So Nashville, we're going to make a couple trades here, but we're not going to do as much as you guys are thinking. All right, so Nashville's making a huge move. Kemmel and Tommy Novak are going to be sent over to the Vegas Golden Knights. We're going to try to bring in Shea Theodore here. We need a bit more help on the right side, and Shea Theodore would definitely help us a ton here. The only problem is we have to give up so many assets in this deal. I don't really know how many more trades we're going to be able to do. This package right here isn't going to be enough. Of course, we'll throw a couple draft picks in the deal. But how many valuable draft picks do we actually have? I mean, we do have Vegas's first round pick, which is going to be useful. We have Tampa's first round pick, so I take it back. We actually have a lot of draft picks we can use here. We're going to start with Nashville's second rounder. Hopefully that's going to be enough here, and it looks like it will be. Now, with all the draft picks Nashville has, and this being a one-year rebuild, I'm fine with trading all these picks away. So Vegas's first rounder, Tampa's second rounder, and Nashville's second round pick for 2026 is going to be sent over to the Anaheim Ducks, and we're going to bring in Mason McTavish. So we're going to make one more deal, and this one's going to be with the Dallas Stars. A couple more first round picks and an AHL player are going to be sent over. Wyatt Johnston, welcome to the team here. They're saying no to that, but you know what? We have more picks to work with. Nashville, I'm going to be honest, I did not realize you had this many picks, because here's two more third rounders. This should be enough for Wyatt Johnston. It's not going to be. I don't want to do 3 first round picks. I feel like that's cheating a little bit. But you know what? If Nashville's got all these picks, we're going to utilize them. Wyatt Johnston, welcome to the team. So we didn't have to make many trades, but this team is significantly better now. Wyatt Johnston's going to play on the first line alongside Philip Forsberg and Jonathan Marchessault. So we're going to have Nyquist, Ryan O'Reilly, and Steven Stamkos on the second. Mason McTavish is going to be joining the bottom 6 here, so we have a lot of depth here. When it comes to the defense, Shea Theodore is going to be joining the team, and that's going to make a massive difference. The right side's looking a lot better now. And then when it comes to goaltending, UC Saros, we're going to stick with you. I know you can be the guy. This Nashville team should be way better than how they're performing in real life, and honestly, I wouldn't be surprised if we finished with 55 plus wins. This team's going to absolutely dominate this season, and we're going to get our first Stanley Cup. So I completely turned the Nashville Predators season around, a 48, 28, and 6 record. The boys are looking good. Offensively, we're struggling, and that's the main surprise for me. I thought we'd be better offensively. Defensively, we're the best team in the entire league, but when it comes to the offense, it just wasn't producing here. Philip Forsberg, you're leading the way with 81 points. Stamkos is going to be picking up 72. Jonathan Marchessault, an absolute beast, 30 points here. Roman Josi looked great. Wyatt Johnston looked great. Shea Theodore looked great, but I was expecting this team to be slightly better. You already know UC Saros is going to have incredible numbers if we're the best defensive team. The real question is, can we get our first Stanley Cup here? We've been great year after year, but it just hasn't been enough. And you know what? We have a tough task in the first round, the Colorado Avalanche. So we went from controlling the LA Kings and taking on Edmonton the first round to controlling Nashville and taking on Colorado. I really can't get an easy task here. Like, I'm not asking for a handout here, but you know what? I would like an easier matchup than this. Like, I want to get out of the first round. We're dropping the first 2 games. Don't drop 3 straight games. Whatever you do, don't drop 3 straight. Okay, luckily we are going to be winning game number 3, but it doesn't matter. We got game 5 elimination. We can't go out bad like this. Like, we can't go out bad again here. We got to beat the Colorado Avalanche. 3 goals in the first period should be enough here unless it's a massive collapse. We have a 5-1 lead. We're going to win this one. We got to win back-to-back though. Well, technically, we have to win back-to-back, but we just won one of those games, so now we just have to win back-to-back. So Nashville scored 5 goals in game number 5. They should be able to score 6 goals in game number 6. It's going to be a scoreless first period and a scoreless second period. I'm not liking this right here. The fact that the offense hasn't got going is concerning me a lot. Hopefully, it shows up in the third period. And in the third period, the offense doesn't show up once again. UC Saros is going to allow 3 goals, and just like that, we're falling in the first round yet again. So we made to the Stanley Cup final once and blew a 3-1 series lead, missed the playoffs, and then got bounced in the first round in back-to-back years now. I really can't catch a break. Nah, but this just hurts my heart. The Toronto Maple Leafs winning the Stanley Cup. You're telling me you couldn't have done that when I was controlling you guys? You couldn't just win a Stanley Cup in year number 1? I don't think I'm ever going to get over that massive collapse that we had with the Maple Leafs. And then UC Saros, what happened? A 342. You posted a 342 in the postseason. Let's take a quick look at those regular season numbers and see what he did. Oh, he had a 921 and a 239. Then he went to the postseason, and his goals against went up by over 1 goal per game. No, that's just not right. Let's spin that wheel. I don't want to spend any more time with Nashville. So we've been let down twice in a row. Now, ideally, we get a super competitive team, but why would we get that? We're going to get the Calgary Flames. They got a bunch of good pieces. They also have a lot of pieces that aren't going to help us win a Stanley Cup right now, so we're going to have to make some aggressive moves. Now, I got to give the Calgary Flames a ton of props. I did not expect them to be this good this season. Are they an incredible team? Absolutely not. But I did think they were going to be one of the worst teams in the entire league. And you know what? You've impressed me. You're not one of the worst teams in the entire league. Dustin Wolf, you're looking like a really good goaltender. You're going to be the future for the Calgary Flames. They got a couple decent young guys in the system. In 4 years, Calgary could be looking like a really good team with all the young guys developing on this team. But right now, they're just kind of mid. They're not a great team. They're not a terrible team. They're stuck right in the middle. But you know what? We're going to make a couple trades here, and we're going to make them better than mid. We're going to make them a playoff team. So here's the first trade. Zane Parekh, Jake Bean, Lomberg. All of you are going to be sent over to the Ottawa Senators. We got to bring in some more defensemen here, so Jake Sanderson's going to be that guy for us. We're also going to bring in David Perron. Now, Jake Sanderson, I'm not the biggest fan of this contract right now, considering you're only an 86 overall. However, there's one thing that has to be noted right now. There are no defensemen in the league that fit on anything other than our top line, and our top pairing is set right now. So Jake Sanderson, you're one of the few players that actually would fit on this team, so we got to make a deal like this. David Perron, I'm going to be honest, I'm kind of praying you fit on the bottom 6. Alright, now after gassing up Dustin Wolf, I'm going to trade him away just because Philip Gustafson's like 2 overalls higher. That is literally the only reason we're making a deal like this. Gustafson, you're an 85 overall. Dustin Wolf, you're an 83. So yeah, that is literally the only reason we're making this deal. We're getting a slightly better goaltender when it comes to overall. That is the only reason we're doing that deal, and I cannot emphasize that enough. Alright, so we're looking at pulling off a big deal here. We need a guy like Brock Besser to score some goals for us. Hoglander, I'm also going to bring you to the team. I think it's Hoglander. I've called him Hoglander for every single video I've ever recorded, but I think it's Hoglander. So Hoglander, welcome to the team here. This is the package. It's going to be a first rounder, 2 prospects, and a second rounder. We're sending this over to Vancouver. They're saying it's a little bit off here, so maybe a third rounder will get this done. So here's a third rounder from the Calgary Flames. We're going to offer this package over. Vancouver saying yes. We got this deal done. Now we are going to make 2 more deals. We do have Vegas's first round pick for next season. That has a lot of value, and we have Florida's for this season. So let's try to capitalize on that trade value. So here's the deal. 2 first rounders, a second rounder, Anthony Mantha, Miro Manoff. I'm going to send all this over to Philadelphia. Travis Konecny and Cam York. You're going to help us win a Stanley Cup here. That's a massive package. That's probably going to be the final trade we do here. We could do a couple more with the Calgary Flames, but we don't have that many assets left. Plus, I actually like the spot the team's in right now. So here we go. We got ourselves a new Calgary Flames team. Travis Konecny, Brock Besser, David Perron, Hoglander. All these guys are going to be brought in. They're going to be helping the forward core a ton here. We're getting a +5 boost on the top line, a +3 boost on the second line. That's certainly going to be helping us a ton here. When it comes to the defensive pairings, Mackenzie Weegar, Rasmus Anderson, of course, you guys are going to stick by each other. Then we're going to have Cam York and Sanderson. They're getting a +2 boost, so the defense is certainly in a better spot here. And then when it comes to goaltending, we're getting an upgrade, I guess. Philip Gustafson, he's an 85 overall. I don't really know how much of an upgrade this is. Like, yeah, it's a 2 overall jump, but is Philip Gustafson really that much of a difference from Dustin Wolf? Like, yeah, it's a 2 overall jump, but I mean, how much is that 2 overall jump really making for a difference? I don't think it really matters too much. The Calgary Flames are looking like a somewhat competitive team right now. Hopefully our coach has a decent overall. Like, I actually don't even know what our coach's overall is, because if this man's only like a B overall, then it doesn't really matter how good the team is. We'll end up failing. But you know what? We're not going to worry about that. We'll figure that out at the end of the season once we're in the postseason. Now, ever since the Toronto Maple Leafs blew that 3-1 series lead, nothing has gone right for me. I've made it to the first round a couple times, and we've lost in the first round both times. The other 2 times, though, yeah, let's just say things haven't gone our way. 25th in the entire league. The real question, though, isn't who let us down. It's how good was Philip Gustafson, because clearly he couldn't have had that good of numbers. Okay, basically everyone except the first line was atrocious here. Yeah, never mind, I gotta take it all back. Every line other than the first was atrocious. Gustafson, of course, you can have terrible numbers here, but I really want to know what Dustin Wolf's numbers were. If Dustin Wolf was incredible, then I'm gonna be a bit upset, but you know what? He was the backup to Marc-Andre Fleury. Maybe I should trade for Marc-Andre Fleury. Maybe he was the guy. Maybe I trade for the wrong goaltender. So we're gonna be missing the postseason. The Vancouver Canucks are gonna win the Stanley Cup here. I'm trying to win win a Stanley Cup with every single team in these one-year rebuilds. We've made it to the Stanley Cup final once, and we blew a 3-1 series lead. But I might as well just take a quick look at the coaching staff here. He's got an A- overall. A- isn't necessarily the best in the world, so maybe that's what held us back here. Yeah, I'm going to put all the blame on the coach. This isn't my fault. Alright, I think it's time to stop messing around here. This next team that we get, we're winning a Stanley Cup with no matter what. I might have to take that back. Montreal, that's not going to be an easy task. No matter how many trades I make, this isn't going to be easy for us. Yeah, so I almost want to take back everything I said about this next team being Stanley Cup champions. We got the Montreal Canadiens here. Now, granted, there's some decent pieces. Nick Suzuki, Slafkovsky, Cole Caulfield, Patrick Laine. We're going to have a healthy Patrick Laine here, so that's going to help a ton. But yeah, this team, not looking like Stanley Cup champs. I'm going to be completely honest. We are going to make a lot of trades here, and we're going to have to make some risky ones. I mean, the one thing I can thank the Montreal Canadiens about is you do have a couple good young players that have a lot of trade value. Lane Hudson, David Reinbacher, both of you will probably be traded. Yeah, Lane Hudson's an 83 overall, but with the amount of trade value he has, if I package him up with a second round pick, we can probably get like an 87, maybe even an 88. Alright, so here's trade number one. Reinbacher, a second round pick, Primu and Brendan Gallagher are all going to be sent over to the Boston Bruins of all teams. Brad Marchand and Jeremy Swayman are both going to be acquired here. Brad Marchand's going to be a great top 6 piece for us. He's an 89 overall. And then Jeremy Swayman, we know what Jeremy Swayman's about. He's going to be a great goaltender for us. I don't think this package is going to be enough. I'm still going to send it over. They're saying no. 2 second round picks might be enough. Because these second round picks we have do have quite a bit of trade value. So I'll throw Pittsburgh second rounder in. I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. We could do a first round pick in this deal. Like, we do have the Calgary Flames first round pick, and that has so much value. It's ridiculous. However, we're going to trade our first round pick first, because after we make this deal, our team's clearly going to be better. Hence, this first round pick is going to drop in trade value. Yeah, I'm cooking right here. This is a great deal. Unfortunately, Boston's going to be saying no to that one, but maybe a second rounder can make the difference. So here's Pittsburgh's second round pick. It's a massive trade with the Boston Bruins. They're going to be accepting that one. We got to make risky moves out here, and this was the first one. Okay, I don't know why this is the case, but so far, every single team I've rebuilt doesn't have JJ Peterka fitting on any of their lines. I think the Montreal Canadiens are our 6th team we've rebuilt so far, and out of the 6 teams, 0 of them had a good fit with JJ Peterka. I'm going to trade for him here. I just want to see how accurate this scouting is, because to me it doesn't make sense how JJ Peterka just doesn't fit here. Like, how is it every single team I talk to says, nah, JJ Peterka, he's not going to fit on your lines? Like, that makes absolutely no sense. They're actually willing to accept this deal. Okay, we might be able to get a bit more. I don't think we can get Buffalo's first round pick, but maybe we can. Can we just swap first round picks here? If we can swap first round picks, that's going to be incredible. They're saying no to that one, but if I give you a third round pick, maybe even a couple third rounders, you might be willing to say yes to that one, and it looks like they're willing to. So Bo Byram and JJ Peterka are now joined the team. We lost Lane Hudson in this deal, but you know what? I can live with that. Now, I think this might be our last deal. It's going to be the Buffalo Sabres first round pick, Christian Dvorak, and then Jack Guy's going to be sent over to Edmonton. We're bringing in Matthias Ekholm here. We're pretty close in value. Matthias Ekholm's going to be a great defensive defenseman for us. He's going to help us get over the hump here. I'm going back and forth with this Montreal Canadiens team. At first, I say there's no way we're going to win, but after all these trades, I think it might be possible. So this is going to be the final trade. I know we're giving up a bit more than we have to in this deal, but you know what? Brett Howden, Keegan Kolazar, you guys are going to play some amazing bottom 6 minutes for us. Apparently, that's a no-brainer for Vegas, but it's also a no-brainer for us. So we made a handful of trades here, and the team's certainly in a better spot. Brad Marchand's going to play some big second line minutes. We're getting a +4 boost here, while we're getting a +5 on the first line. So we're getting some great line chemistry boosts. We're going to see JJ Peterka playing some third line minutes. Yeah, he doesn't have the greatest fit here, but you know what? We're going to make it work. Keegan Kolazar, Brett Howden, what great pickups you guys were. Perfect fits across the board. And then looking at the defense, we're in an amazing spot here. Bo Byram, you're going to play in the first pairing alongside Matthias Ekholm. Michael Masson, you're going to move down to the second pairing where you have a better fit, so we're going to have some depth here. And then when it comes to goaltending, 88 overall Jeremy Swayman. The Montreal Canadiens might be a team that can win a Stanley Cup here. We've made some amazing moves, but then again in the past I thought I made some amazing moves, and then the team doesn't even make the playoffs. But you know what? Things have got to change here. I'm in a drought right now. I haven't won a postseason series since year number 1 with the Toronto Maple Leafs. We ended up blowing a 3-1 series lead. I'm going to mention that basically every single season, but ever since that point, I don't believe we've won a series. That's going to change right now. So I actually have some good news for once. Very rarely do we have good news here, but we do for once. The Montreal Canadiens are going to make the postseason. 13th in the entire league, a 45-31-6 record. That's basically where the good news ends. Offensively, I think we might have been the worst team in the entire league. We were one of the worst offensive teams in the entire league here. We could not score goals to save our lives. I don't know why we were this bad offensively, but we were. However, when it comes to the defensive aspect, we were second best in the entire game. Defense is going to win you Stanley Cups. However, last time I said that, I'm pretty sure we got swept in the first round. so who knows what it actually means. Suzuki, 69 points. Cole Caulfield's picking up 66. Brad Marchand was a good pickup. He's got 61 points. When it comes to goaltending, Jeremy Swayman was absolutely him. 39 wins, 5 shots, a 928 and a 233. But none of this matters once we get to the postseason, because the postseason's where it matters. The regular season success stops right here. The playoffs are where it matters. We're taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. I refuse to lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. So if there's ever been a time to lock in, it's time to lock in right now. We're going to split the first 2 games. Game number 3 is going to be a massive one. Can we win that? Yes, we can. Are we going to take down the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round? Probably not. I just see a choke happening right now. I mean, it wouldn't really be that much of a choke. We split the series, but we're going to drop game number 5. We're not losing to the Toronto Maple Leafs in the first round. We cannot lose in the first round. Losing in the Stanley Cup final is one thing, but I'm not losing to the Toronto Maple Leafs of all teams in the first round. The third period is going to decide this one. We had a 3-1 lead, but we lost that 3-1 lead. And you know what? We're going to exchange goals here in the third period. Overtime's going to settle this one. We haven't been great offensively so far in the postseason, and we haven't been great offensively during the regular season. Now we have to rely on our offense. Somebody has to score a goal here, and it's Matthew Knies. That doesn't help me. So Matthew Knies is going to single-handedly eliminate the Montreal Canadiens. The streak of not making it out of the first round continues. It's getting ridiculous. Okay, at this point, please give me the New York Rangers. I'm tired of losing in the first round. Give me the Florida Panthers, even give me the Winnipeg Jets at this point. I don't care who we have. Just give me a team where I'm guaranteed to get out of the first round, because I am tired of losing in the first round. Offensively, we actually didn't look terrible in the postseason, so I'm a bit concerned. Did our goaltending fall apart here? Yes, it did. Okay, this has happened in back-to-back postseasons. Jeremy Swayman during the regular season, I couldn't ask for better numbers. A 929 and a 233. Absolutely incredible. What could happen in the postseason? An 884 and a 377. Bro, what are you doing? Why has this happened now? This has happened twice. I can't remember who the other goaltender was. Was it Philip Gustafson? I think it was Philip Gustafson. No, it wasn't, because Philip Gustafson was with Calgary. I can't recall which other goaltender did this for us. It wasn't even that long ago. I think it was UC Saros. It was UC Saros. Bro got us into the postseason, then completely folded on me. I'm tired of this happening. Like, I'm sorry, but we can't go this entire video without winning a Stanley Cup. Give me a superstar team. Ain't no way, when I've asked the past 2 spins now to give me an elite team, a superstar team, you have given me the Montreal Canadiens and the Philadelphia Flyers. And the team before that, the Calgary Flames. We've got Calgary, Montreal, Philly. Ain't no way. Alright, so with the Philadelphia Flyers, you know what? Let's just set the head coach preferred lines. Obviously, these aren't going to be terrible lines. Oh, apparently you want Mishkov on the 4th line. Yeah, that makes so much sense. Mishkov playing on the 4th line. Yeah, we're not doing that. Travis Konecny, obviously you're not going to play on the 4th line. Where do you fit? You actually fit on the 2nd line. But you know what? For the sake of this, I'm just going to put you on the 1st line right now. We have to make so many trades to make this team somewhat competitive. It's actually going to be ridiculous here. I'm not too sure if we're going to be able to make this team competitive. I don't know if we can win with this team right here. But you know what? Of course, I'm going to try my best. I'm going to make as many trades as I have to. We're going to make Philly competitive. Notice how I use the word competitive, because I cannot even guarantee with the amount of assets we have if I can make this a playoff team or not. We have very few trade assets to work with. I might have to take that back. We have a lot of picks here, so maybe we could get something to happen. So here's deal number 1. A first rounder, Jet Luchenko, Tyson Forrester, off to the Boston Bruins, Brandon Carlo, if you know, an amazing offensive defensive defenseman, and then bringing in Morgan Geekie as well. Unfortunately, this package isn't going to be enough, but a couple picks will make the difference. So we'll start with a 3rd rounder from the Philadelphia Flyers, and that might be enough right there. They're saying no to that one. How about 2 3rd rounders? I'll give you a 3rd rounder for 2026, and I believe this should be enough to get the deal done. We're sending that over to Boston. They're going to be accepting. Now we fixed a few of the problems on the team. Just because I want to prove my theory, I'm going to show this. JJ Peterka doesn't fit on John Tortorella's lines. Every team I rebuild from here on out, we're going to check JJ Peterka's line fit, because it's just getting ridiculous. So we might try to pull off 2 deals with the Dallas Stars, but I think we're going to do them one by one. So it's going to be a 1st rounder and Andre sent over to the Dallas Stars. We're getting Thomas Harley. I don't know how much more we're going to have to include in this deal. Probably a 2nd round pick. Basically, the only thing I don't want to do in a deal like this is give up 2 1st rounders. So I'll include a 2nd round pick. They're saying no. How about we do 2 2nd round picks here? I mean, this is quite a bit for Thomas Harley, but he would be our number 1 defenseman. They're going to be saying yes. Now that we've acquired Thomas Harley, what if we circled back into another deal? Because my main concern was having to give up too much in a deal like that, but you know what? Now that I know how much we have to give up, Logan Stankoven, I wouldn't mind bringing you to the team as well. So can I do a 1st and 2nd rounder for Logan Stankoven? They're saying no, but we got to have some more valuable assets on the team. Like, if I have to trade Joel Farabee away, I'll definitely do that. $5 million for the next 4 years, and he's only an 83 overall. Definitely not worth that price. They're going to be saying no to this deal. What if I give you another second? I actually take that back. I can't give you multiple second rounders, but how about I give you multiple first round picks? This is a huge deal for Logan Stankoven. I think we're getting finessed, but you know what? We don't really have a choice. So this will probably be the final deal. A second rounder in Arison over to the Carolina Hurricanes. Kochetkov, welcome to the team. You're going to help us win a Stanley Cup with the Philadelphia Flyers. I swear, if the first team I win a Stanley Cup with is the Philadelphia Flyers, I might lose my mind because we've had much better teams than the Philadelphia Flyers, yet this is probably going to be the team that wins the Stanley Cup. All right, I'm going to be completely honest. If this Philadelphia Flyers team makes the playoffs here, that's going to be a massive surprise. We have a terrible bottom six. Like, this bottom six is atrocious. Our defensive pairings, not the best. I mean, we do have a big three here: Thomas Harley, Brandon Carlo, Travis Sanheim. Honestly, that's not the worst in the world, and we do have decent line fits here, so we might be all right. Kochetkov, you're an 86 overall. You have to be an absolute stud. You got to basically play 70 games this season. I do have a lot of concerns with this team, but you know what? We had very little to work with here. I've traded all the first round picks away. I've traded all the second round picks away. Basically, all we can do at this point is pray. Pray the Philadelphia Flyers somehow turn it around. So on February 25th, we probably had a 90% chance of making the playoffs. There is no way we could possibly screw this up, right? 1 game, 2 game, 3 game, 4 game, 5 game, 6 game, 7 game, 8 game, 9 game. A 9-game losing streak. We went on a 9-game losing streak. Like, with this win right here, we had 34 wins. 34 wins is great, especially when you have 4 more games heading up to the trade deadline. Even if we split these games right here, we'll have 36 wins at the trade deadline. If you have 36 wins at the trade deadline, you're in a great spot. But nope, we lost 9 straight games. But don't worry, we went on a 3-game winning streak right after. You know what? We're going to bounce back. And then we proceed to go on a 3-game losing streak right after that 3-game winning streak. Yeah, this team just decided we're done playing hockey. Philly, I did everything in my power here to make you a playoff team. And you know what? I did my job here. Things were looking great. And then we lost 9 in a row. The Philadelphia Flyers would have made the postseason if we didn't lose 9 straight games. That's all I have to say. This team looks fine if we don't lose 9 straight games. But you know what? They chose to lose 9 straight games here. Travis Konecny's leading the way with 72 points. Scott Laughton's also picking up 72 points. So shout out to him. He's an 89 overall. Am I reading this right? Scott Laughton is an 89 overall. Yeah, you know what? I don't know what to say about that. He has a higher overall than Mishkov. That is something. I don't even know what to say about it. Kochetkov's an 88. So clearly I made the right trades here. 33 wins, 4 shots, a 918, a 258. These are incredible numbers right here. This team just choked. This team choked when it mattered most. The New York Rangers are going to win the Stanley Cup. And isn't it funny? The Rangers are the team I want to rebuild next, just because I knew they were a great team and I knew I'd be able to win a Stanley Cup with them. And if I did control the Rangers, we would have won a Stanley Cup. But here we are, missing the playoffs yet again. It's getting ridiculous. Like, at this point, it's not even because I'm a bad GM. I am just getting so incredibly unlucky. We're rebuilding the New Jersey Devils next. This is certainly a team I can work with. They got a great foundational core. I just got to make a few small tweaks. Okay, now the New Jersey Devils might be the easiest rebuild yet. There's really not too much we have to do with the forward core. I want to bring in one more elite sniper, and that's probably about it. When it comes to the defense, that's not going to be touched whatsoever. These 6 defensemen you see right here, we're rocking all these guys. Then when it comes to goaltending, Markstrom, Allen, we're rocking with both of you guys. So we'll make 1 trade, maybe 2. But yeah, we're not going to be doing too much. So it's kind of funny. For the longest time, I've been saying this player, no matter what, never fits on any lines. Well, he finally fits on one. JJ Peterka, we need another sniper on this team. You're an 86 overall, and where do you fit? You fit on the first line. JJ Peterka, welcome to the team. I'm giving up Nemec. We're getting 2 second rounders back. They're saying it's a little bit low here. Here's a 6th round pick. JJ Peterka in 2 seconds. Welcome to the team. Nemec, you were in the AHL, so there's no point in us keeping you on this team. You're not going to help us win right now. Now, I just feel that Wyatt Johnston's trade value should be higher than this, but you know what? It isn't. I feel like something happened between the last rebuild I did and this one, even though they were only done 2 minutes apart, but I feel like his trade value is lower than what it normally is. Same with Thomas Harley. This rebuild was literally done 3 minutes after the Philadelphia Flyers won, but these trade values just look significantly lower. Maybe I'm losing my mind, but they're definitely lower. Like, if I do a first, 2 seconds, and Seamus Casey over to the Dallas Stars, can we get Wyatt Johnston and Logan Stankoven? They're going to say no to that one. I don't think we have any more young players I could throw to this deal. I guess we do have this prospect, so I'll throw the prospect into the deal. Hopefully that's enough. They're saying no. I mean, at the end of the day, the only guy I really wanted here was Wyatt Johnston, but we could pick up somebody else for the bottom 6. We're not getting Stankoven. We're not getting Thomas Harley. Is there anyone else that wouldn't be a bad pickup? Mason Marchment, actually, I wouldn't be against that. Mason Marchment, we're going to try to get you as well. So if we're going to do a deal like this, it's going to have to be Thomas Tatar and Bastion in the deal because we have to clear up that cap space for Mason Marchment. This is a deal I think we can get done. I'll throw a second rounder in the deal, and with Buffalo's second rounder having so much trade value, I think this is very probable. So I'm going to offer this package over to the Dallas Stars. They're saying no. I think we might just do a 3-team trade. So if we did a deal like this, 3 second rounders over to the Minnesota Wild, can I get Marco Rossi? They're going to be saying no to that one. How about a couple more second round picks? I don't know if we have more second rounders. Yes, we do. We have Winnipeg's second round pick. So here's Winnipeg's second round pick, and that's going to be enough to get this one done. Marco Rossi, I'm going to flip you now. Or maybe we don't do that, because Marco Rossi actually has a pretty solid fit on the bottom 6 here. So you know what? Why Johnston, you're not coming to the team anymore, but I do want to bring Mason Marchment. So we'll try to pull off a deal like this. Tatar, Bastion, a first round pick's going to be sent over to Dallas. Hopefully that's going to be enough. They're saying no. We do have more second round picks though. Like for some reason, this team had so many second round picks, it was ridiculous. Here's the Devils second rounder. I think that's going to be enough to get this deal done. Yes, it is. Now we're ready to win. So here's our new look New Jersey Devils. Mason Marchment, I didn't think you were going to be a top 6 piece, but you know what? You have an incredible fit here, so that's where you're going to play. Marco Rossi, you're going to play some big third line minutes for us. JJ Peterka, you're on the first line. As I said, the defense isn't going to be touched because that's looking amazing here. Goaltending is looking great as well. If this team doesn't finish first in the entire league, then it's just completely rigged and I'll never win a Stanley Cup. I mean, that might be a bit of an exaggeration, but this team should, in theory, be incredibly good. All right, New Jersey, this is actually beyond ridiculous. This might be the most ridiculous thing we've seen yet. Don't worry, we're making the playoffs. We're 10th in the entire league, a 46-34-2 record. But let's have this discussion. At the trade deadline, we had 39 wins. So you might be thinking, oh, 7 wins after the trade deadline. That's not good by any means, but it could have been significantly worse. Well, considering we won our last 4 games, yeah, we were bad. Heading into the final 4 games of the season, we won 3 games after the trade deadline. I don't know what the trade deadline is doing to all the teams I manage, but there is one thing I think is changing, and it has nothing to do with our forwards here. The forwards actually don't impact it whatsoever, and goaltending doesn't impact it whatsoever. Jacob Markstrom, you were great this season. I need to look at defensive line fits. We're taking on the Rangers in the first round, but this doesn't matter right now. I want to look at our defensive line fits, because I have a feeling after the trade deadline, our line chemistry changed a little bit. I mean, I can tell you right now, line fits are certainly different, because I know for a fact Timo Meier had a better line fit, Jack Hughes had a better line fit, and JJ Peterka had a better line fit. These line fits were a lot different at the beginning of the season. Jesper Bratt, you had the best line fit on the second line. Now it's your worst. I don't know how any of that works, but let's look at the defense quick. Luke Hughes, Brett Pesce, I'm actually very surprised these are actually still pretty good. So yeah, I gotta take back everything I was about to say. Defensive line fits are actually still pretty good here. The forward line fits though, completely fell off a cliff. I don't know what happened, but the forward line fits are no longer good. EA, please get rid of dynamic line chemistry. I completely hate it. I don't care if it's a bit more realistic. It is awful. Like, I can construct an entire team, and then by the 20 game mark, every single player now has a poor line fit, and that is absolutely ridiculous. I know the face cam's not on right now. It's because I'm ranting. Get rid of dynamic line chemistry. It is so incredibly annoying how I can build the greatest team of all time. I mean, I'm not calling the New Jersey Devils the greatest team of all time, but I can build an incredible team. We'll look amazing through the first 40 games, and then the line fits change at the trade deadline, and then something like this happens. We win the first game, and then immediately lose 4 straight games, getting blown out in basically all of them. Like, this is so incredibly frustrating. I don't know why the dynamic line fits change as much as they do. Like, if anything, the line fit should actually improve throughout the season, because the players are playing together more, so the line fit should go up. They shouldn't all regress. I can maybe understand if you have 3 playmakers alongside each other, that their line fit would decrease throughout the season, because you have 3 playmakers playing together. Obviously, they're not going to have a good line fit. But when I have a power forward, sniper, and playmaker alongside each other, or a sniper, 2-way forward, and playmaker beside each other, if anything, their line chemistry should actually improve as the season goes on, as they play more together. Maybe I'm the odd man out in a situation like this. Maybe everyone loves dynamic line chemistry. Me personally, I think it's incredibly stupid how I can build a team where everyone has elite line fits, and then by the 20 game mark, 30 game mark, or even the 40 game mark, everyone's line fit is completely changed, and then there's not a single player on this team who has good line chemistry. Obviously, this team was absolutely pathetic during the postseason. Jacob Markstrom, you were atrocious. But yeah, get rid of dynamic line chemistry. It is so incredibly annoying, and most of the time, it just completely screws up team chemistry and doesn't actually benefit you in any way. But yeah, the New Jersey Devils, that was supposed to be a team we win a Stanley Cup with, lost in the first round. The Detroit Red Wings are up next here. I mean, they got a lot of good young players. Like, we can make a lot of trades to make this team really good pretty easily. Alright, so I've dealt with enough disappointment here that it doesn't really matter how good of a team I build, we'll somehow lose in the first round. We have still not won a postseason series since year number 1 here, and it's getting ridiculous. This is so ridiculous. It's getting so ridiculous I can't even explain in words. However, the Red Wings might be changing things here. I know I say that with every single team, but there are so many good young players that have a lot of trade value. We should be able to get some elite players to join this team. Alright, so this deal is more of just to clear up cap space here. Ben Sherratt, Jeff Petrie, both of you guys are going to be traded over to the Anaheim Ducks. We're getting Lundstrom here. I don't care about getting any draft picks back. I don't care about anything. I just want to clear up the cap space here. Anaheim thinks they're getting a steal. I don't know why you would think that. So this is the deal we're going to move on to next. Axel Sedin, Palika. We got to trade you away to fix the forward core here. Protas, Connor McMichael. Both of you guys are going to be great pieces for us. 284 overalls. One fits on the fourth line. Connor McMichael, not really too sure where you're going to fit. But we'll find a spot for you on this team. I'm going to send Axel Sedin, Palika over. They're willing to accept immediately. Maybe we can get something else in this deal. Like, hypothetically, how hard would it be for us to get Jacob Chikrin? Like, he's an 86 overall, but he only fits on the third pairing. That's the same with Martin Ferravari. Both these guys fit on the third pairing. Even Rasmus Sedin fits on the third pairing. However, if we have learned anything so far in this video, fits don't matter, because by the time we get to the trade deadline, all these fits are going to be different. So we'll do Axel Sedin, Palika, Joe Veleno, and we're going to get Protas, we're going to get Connor McMichael, we're going to get Ferravari. 3 great pieces for us. They're saying no, but you know what? We got draft picks to work with. And since we're so close in value, 2 third-round picks might be enough. You know, I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. How about a second-rounder? Like, Detroit's second-round picks got quite a bit of value, so I'll add that into the deal. We'll offer this over. We just need to add a 7th-round pick, and then we'll be getting this deal done. So here's St. Louis' 7th-round pick, Protas, Connor McMichael, Martin Ferravari. Welcome to the Red Wings. All right, so we're moving on to our next deal because we got to make the defense a little bit better here, but we also need to make the forward core a little better. Marco Kasper, Justin Hall, both you guys are going to be traded. Sean Dursey, Jack McBain, both you guys are going to be joined the team here. We might be able to get a draft pick. So how about Utah? You give me your 3rd-round pick, and I think this is a pretty fair deal. They're saying it's a little bit low, so I'll throw a 7th-rounder in. So here's Detroit's 7th-round pick. We already traded the St. Louis 7th-rounder, and then this will be enough to get the deal done. So the defense is going to be seeing another great upgrade. All right, so we got to make a massive splash here because we got to get the defense better. So Edvinsson, Andrew Kopp, Gustafsson, Rasmussen. We're losing a lot of key pieces that are playing for us right now, but we're going to bring in Brock Besser, 50% retained, and we're going to bring in Hronek. Now, more than likely, we have to include something else in this deal. They don't really want Rasmussen because it fits the same role as Andrew Kopp, but I don't really care what you want. I'm going to give you a 1st-round pick, and you're going to accept this deal. So here's Detroit's 1st-rounder, and you know what, Vancouver, that's going to be enough for you to change your mind. So just like that, we got this deal done. Now we got to fill out the bottom 6 a little bit because we trade half the bottom 6 away. So we got to make 2 more trades, and this is going to be the first one. Tyler Mott and 2 third-rounders to help us pick up Mason Lowry. Now we're going to do one more deal just because we need somebody for the 3rd pairing defense. So this is going to be the final deal. We're picking up Henry Jokiharju, a stick on the ice legend at 50% retained. That's going to be the final move here. After Buffalo accepts this, we have to overpay because they're retaining half his contract. But you know what? Here's a 3rd-round pick, and I know that's going to change your mind. So very few times so far in this video have we not traded for a goaltender. And we're not going to trade for a goaltender with the Detroit Red Wings. Now, why would I do that? Well, so far, every single goaltender I've traded for has underperformed. So 37-year-old Cam Talbot, I'm going to have faith in you. Is this the wrong decision? Probably. But based on previous experiences, this probably isn't the wrong decision. This is the guy we have to rock with. The team's actually looking really good. I think Detroit's going to be able to be one of the best teams in the entire league. No weaknesses across the board here. We just need to perform, and we have to pray that line chemistry doesn't change. So I don't know how I feel about this. The Detroit Red Wings were amazing this season, 6th in the entire league. But what did we get rewarded with? Taking on the Boston Bruins in the 1st round. I'm not feeling confident. I'm really not. I feel like the Boston Bruins are going to upset us here. Things just won't go right in the postseason for us. Dylan Larkin was great. Lucas Raymond was great. Patrick Kane was pretty solid. So was Brock Besser. I can't complain about any of the guys we acquired. All of them were looking great. Cam Talbot, 37 wins, 8 shots, and 916 to 273. I just feel like it's all going to come crumbling down really fast. We have the Boston Bruins in the 1st round. The teams I've built have been known for choking in the 1st round or missing the postseason, so don't do that this time. These 2 teams were incredibly close during the regular season. Something has to change though. We won game number 1. That's massive. Can we win game number 2? Please win game 2. We're dropping game 2. Win game number 3. I don't want to fall to a 2-1 deficit. We're winning game 3. It's been a high scoring series so far. We have a 3-1 lead. Close it out in game number 5. Don't lose game 5. Just win game number 5 here. The boys have won. We've made it to the 2nd round. It's a historic day, and we did it with Cam Talbot of all players. We didn't trade Cam Talbot away. We held on to him, and we made it to the 2nd round. That's a Stanley Cup in my books. That's Stanley Cup number 1 right there. We made it out of the 1st round. It's a historic day. We're allowing 5 goals in game number 1, but we're responding in game number 2. Can Detroit compete with the Tampa Bay Lightning? We need to win game number 4 here, and that's what we're going to do. Game number 5 is going to be the biggest game of the postseason, the biggest game we've seen in a long time. Can we win this one? No. No, we can't. We're off to game 6 elimination. So here we go, game 6 elimination, Detroit. I need you to make a massive comeback. Lucas Raymond, a massive goal in the first period. No one's going to be scoring in the second period, so we just have to play elite defense. Cam Talbot, I need you to stand on your head here, and that's exactly what you're doing. A 1-0 shutout. We're off to game 7. Game 7, winners off to the conference finals. Detroit's really going to win us our first Stanley Cup. The Red Wings have been pretty solid in the postseason, but it all comes down to one game. One game's going to decide this one. Connor McMichael, a massive power play goal. In the second period, though, Tampa is going to be responding. Glenn Denning, Braden Point, they're both picking up goals here. We need a massive third period, and in the third period, it's going to be scoreless for us. The offense crumbled when it mattered most. In the past 2 games, we only scored 2 goals. Offensively, we weren't good in this series. Like in the last 3 games, we scored 4 goals. If you're scoring 4 goals over the course of 3 games, you're not going to be winning, especially in the postseason. But you know what? We'll take it as a win here. At least we made it out of the first round. We're making strides in the right direction. We made it to the second round. The fact that Detroit has been the second most successful team so far says a lot, because this team only won 7 games in the postseason, yet that's the second most successful. Yeah, we're down atrocious. But you know what? We got to celebrate the little victories, because we're not going to get the big victories. The Rangers continue to win multiple Stanley Cups here. Brock Besser, you were a great pickup. You stepped up when it mattered. So did Connor McMichael. Protas, even you weren't too bad. 7 points in 12 games. You were +4. But when it came to Cam Talbot's goaltending, it was actually better than most goaltenders we've had. 37-year-old Cam Talbot's the man we should have started relying on a long time ago. 7 wins, 2 shots in .915 and .262. I can't even be mad at this. We made it to the second round. We were 1 game away from the conference finals, and Cam Talbot's numbers weren't even that bad. I think we just lost to the better team. Like, normally I'd be upset with a second round exit, but with the lack of success every team has had so far, I'm going to take that. The Winnipeg Jets are a fantastic team to move on to next. Very few changes are going to happen with this team. Throughout the simulation so far, the Winnipeg Jets have been a dominant team, so we're not making too many trades here. We're going to make 1 trade to help the bottom 6, and we're going to make 1 trade for the third pairing defense, maybe even the second pairing defense when we move Sandberg back, but that's neither here nor there. We're doing very few changes with this Winnipeg Jets team because they're performing pretty solid so far. But now that I'm controlling them, I guarantee you they missed the playoffs. So we're going to make 1 trade. Yager, Iafallo, and a first-round pick over to Utah. Kesselring, Jack McBain, you were just on my last team, but now you can be on this team. Barrett Hayton. All 3 of these guys are going to be acquired. We're going to give a couple more picks, but we're going to get this deal done. So here's a second rounder for 2026, and hopefully that's going to be enough to make this deal happen. Yes, it is. That's the lone trade we're making. Alright, so here's what we're looking at. Basically the exact same Winnipeg Jets team. Barrett Hayton, Jack McBain, you're playing on the 4th line. When it comes to the defense, Kesselring, you're going to play on the 2nd pairing. Sandberg, you're going to play on the 3rd pairing. There we go. That's our Winnipeg Jets team. Y'all better not lose. Alright, I cannot emphasize this enough. This is the year we do it. This is the year we win. 55, 22, and 5. I can't ask for basically a better season than this right here. Maybe I can ask for 2 more wins because then we would have been first in the entire league, but that's neither here nor there. This team's looking great right now. Kyle Connor, 102 points. Bro was lighting the lamp this season. Mark Scheifele was, Ehlers was, Josh Morrissey was. Everyone was good on this team. Goaltending, incredible from Connor Hellebuyck. That's not much of a surprise, but all that matters is the team showing up right here. We have the St. Louis Blues in the first round. Now, St. Louis, they're a great team. Maybe not this season, but in general, they're a great team. Yeah, I got nothing to say. So I'm recording this the day after we hired Jim Montgomery and fired Drew Bannister, but I will say this. Montgomery's not saving the season. This season's a wash. We're going to beat the St. Louis Blues here. We're going to take them down 5 games. But yeah, this season for the St. Louis Blues, it's a wash. We're not going to be competitive. I thought that was very clear heading into this season. Like, we were not going to be a great team this year. Like, the team we had last season is better than the team we have this season. Torrey Krug's done for the year. Robert Thomas was hurt for how long? Broberg's been hurt for how long? We're not going to be a great team here. But you know what? I'm not going to worry about St. Louis right now. We're about to take the Dallas Stars down. We're going to move on to the conference finals. We are going to have a chance to win a Stanley Cup here. We are not blowing a 3-0 series lead. Do not blow a 3-0 series lead here. What are we doing? I'm trying to yap about the St. Louis Blues while the Winnipeg Jets are blowing a 3-0 series lead. We are not blowing a 3-0 series lead to the Dallas Stars. The third period is going to decide this one. In the third period, thankfully we scored. And we scored 3 goals. I was about to go on a massive rant about the Winnipeg Jets, but I guess I'm going to hold off on that. We're taking on the Vegas Golden Knights in the conference final, so I guess we don't have to worry about the Edmonton Oilers. But that probably means the Vegas Golden Knights beat the Edmonton Oilers, but we're not going to worry about that. We're about to make it to the Stanley Cup final, and here we are. We're back in the Stanley Cup final. After years of constant disappointment, we've made it back to the Stanley Cup final, and we have the Washington Capitals. Winnipeg, you have a chance to be the first team to win a Stanley Cup here. I basically made no moves with this team, and we're about to win a Stanley Cup, but we have to win 2 more games. games. Game 5 is the biggest game of the postseason so far, and we're dropping it. Why am I not surprised? Of course we're losing game number 5. We better not lose game 6 though. We have to win a Stanley Cup. We're not doing this. We are not doing this right now. Kyle Connor pick up a hat trick in this game. We lost. We really lost. It doesn't matter. We can't win. No team I construct can win, I guess. I'm speechless. I really am. It doesn't matter what I do here. We finally made it back to the Stanley Cup final, only to lose in 6 games to the Washington Capitals. This was one of the best chances we had to win, and nobody stepped up when it mattered. The entire team folded here. What was goaltending looking like? Connor Hellebuyck? Yeah, I can't believe you did this. You posted a 935, a 199 with 4 shutouts, and you're telling me this team couldn't find the back of the net enough. Goaltending wasn't an issue. We just had to score more goals here, but apparently nobody can score on this team. Offense really let us down. Connor Hellebuyck, I am so sorry. None of this is your fault. It's everybody not named Connor Hellebuyck. Y'all gotta find the back of the net. But as I was saying about the St. Louis Blues, we are not going to be a good team. We're entering the rebuild. I don't know why there's so many St. Louis Blues fans surprised about this. We're entering a rebuild. Like the team we have right now is not winning a Stanley Cup. I don't know why there's so many people surprised about this. Another team clearly not winning a Stanley Cup, the Chicago Blackhawks, because that team is also atrocious, and I thought they were going to be way better this season. Now, I really thought the Chicago Blackhawks were going to be much better this season. Connor Bedard's fallen into a bit of a sophomore slump. Taylor Hall has done absolutely nothing to the point where he's being healthy scratched. Tyler Bertuzzi, he just stinks right now, plain and simple. Like, I was thinking he'd be way better. Teuvo Teravainen, you actually haven't been bad. I couldn't tell you what your stats are, but I just feel like you haven't been terrible. I don't think you've been good though. Seth Jones is on the IR right now. Alex Velasquez, I thought you would have taken the next step. You haven't really done that. And then when it comes to goaltending, Peter Mrazek, do what you can. Yeah, that's about it. This team is not good, and I'm not gonna lie, we might have to make a very, very, very aggressive trade. And I think you know what I'm hinting at. Connor Bedard, you're a great player. Nothing against you. However, you do have medium franchise potential, and I could bring in like 6 good players for you. Also, Lev Shanoff, I'm going to trade you as well. But yeah, Connor Bedard, I could trade you and get a lot of assets. Alright, so I just want to emphasize none of these rebuilds are realistic. I got to mention that probably about 3 times for this trade we're about to make. But hear me out. Bedard for Logan Stankoven, Thomas Harley, Wyatt Johnston, Jason Robertson, and a 2nd round pick. We're going to give up Nick Foligno and Athanasiou just so we can make the contracts work. They're willing to say yes to this. That is absurd. In no world would this deal ever get accepted. Give me your 1st round pick then. If I send you this package, you're willing to say yes to it. This just doesn't feel fair. Like, this isn't fair in the slightest, but we're gonna take it. And because of that deal, I'm assuming Dallas's 1st round pick has a lot more value now. Yes, it does. Now, I will say, I've traded for these guys a lot so far in this video. Logan Stankoven, Thomas Harley, Wyatt Johnston. I might be flipping most of them. So as I mentioned, Thomas Harley, I've had you on my teams a lot so far in this rebuild, and I don't want to keep having the same players. But Connor Murphy and Thomas Harley are now going to be flipped over to Florida. Carter Verhaeghe and Lundell are both going to be brought in here. Connor Bedard, your trade value is so high, it's actually ridiculous. I get you're a generational talent and everything, but even that was out of hand. Like, we got so many players right there, it was actually ridiculous. Here's a 1st rounder thrown into the deal, but they just want a bit more. We'll give him a 7th rounder. But no, this is out of hand. Connor Bedard should not be bringing in those 4 elite potential players. Like, that's not even fair. Okay, so we're going to try to pull off this deal. Alec Martinez, Wyatt Johnston, TJ Brody, Jason Dickinson. I want to try to get rid of all these contracts, but I want to get Brady Shea in the process, and I want Ryan O'Reilly in the process. I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying no. They're interested in TJ Brody. They don't want Alec Martinez. I'll take out a 2nd round pick. Is that willing to change their mind? That's not enough to change their mind. How about I take out 2 2nd round picks? I will overpay just to get this deal done. Thank you, Nashville. So here's going to be our 2nd last trade. Taylor Hall and Lev Shanoff over to the St. Louis Blues. Buchnevich and Joseph. I'm not going to lie, we might make a play for Binner here too. Like, we do need a goaltender. Binner's only an 84 overall. The disrespect is crazy. I am sorry, but Binner is a little better than an 84 overall. He's at least an 85. That is incredibly disrespectful. So I guess we're just going to be picking up these 2 guys right here. I'll throw a 2nd rounder in. St. Louis is going to be saying yes. Buchnevich, welcome to the team. Pierre-Oliver Joseph, welcome to the team. Yeah, the defense is still looking cooked. I'm not going to lie. Okay, so this is going to be our final deal. It's going to be Bertuzzi, Mikheyev, and a 1st round pick over to the Oilers. We're bringing in Kulak. We're bringing in Ekholm. We need some help on the right side. These guys are going to be able to do that for us. Peter Mrazek, I'm hoping for a miracle here. I'm not going to lie. We're going to rock with Peter Mrazek. We don't really have too many options. Maybe I can bring in Arvidsson here. They're going to be saying no. We'll try to bring in Arvidsson here. We're going to have to clear up a bit more money. I don't really know who I want to trade away here. Actually, yes, I do. Big Rig Pat Maroon. I love you and all, but we got to clear up that cap space. I'm going to send this package over to Edmonton. They're saying no. We'll do multiple 1st round picks. I'll trade 2 1st round picks. We'll get this deal done. This is the final deal we're doing with with the Chicago Blackhawks. Let's pray this team can get into the postseason. Alright, so after all the trades we made, here's what the Chicago team's looking like. Trading Bedard was the best thing we could have done here. Yeah, the fourth line's a bit weak, but you know what? I think our top nine's good enough to help us win here. Looking at the defense, we have terrible line fits, but that means absolutely nothing because as we know, these are going to be different 20 games into the season. So Pierre Mrazek here, an 84 overall. I want you to absolutely cook this season. I need you to lead us to a Stanley Cup here. I need you to do something incredible. Yeah, I have incredibly low expectations for this team. If we miss the playoffs, I'm not going to be overly surprised. If we make the playoffs though, I'll take it and we'll go ahead and win a Stanley Cup. More than likely our first Stanley Cup is going to be with the Chicago Blackhawks. At this point, I don't even care who we win a Stanley Cup with. We just have to win a Stanley Cup. Now, I didn't necessarily expect the Chicago Blackhawks to be amazing by any means here, but I did think we'd be slightly better than this. 24th in the entire league. I'm sorry, but you cannot convince me that this team I built is 24th in the entire league. We are better than a lot of the teams out there. Okay, maybe not. Lundell was minus 25. He had a perfect fit on the second line. Bro was playing second line minutes, I think. Maybe he was on the third line. I don't even recall. All I know is Lundell probably shouldn't have been minus 25. Arvidsson probably shouldn't have been minus 26. That is ridiculous. When it comes to goaltending, Peter Mrazek, I'm not going to lie, I'm not really surprised at these numbers. The team should have been better, though. Like, our defense wasn't atrocious. Like, I feel like our defense should have been better than this. Yeah, the game just didn't want the Chicago Blackhawks to succeed. I can tell you that right now. We could have had all 90 overalls, and we still wouldn't have made the postseason. The game wanted us to fail. Also, want to point out the Winnipeg Jets missed the playoffs. Like, how does that even happen? So the Stanley Cup drought is going to continue here. We're moving on to our next team, the Minnesota Wild. No, it looks like it's going to be the Dallas Stars. So basically, it's the Chicago Blackhawks after I made that Bedard trade. Yeah, we're going to have Jason Robertson. We're going to have Rupe Hintz. We're going to have Miro Heiskanen. We're going to have Wyatt Johnston. We're going to have Logan Stankoven. All those guys that were involved in the Bedard deal, yeah, we're going to see them all again here. So the Dallas Stars are going to be very similar to the Winnipeg Jets. We're making like 1 or 2 moves max here. This entire team's already looking amazing here. We're going to make 1 move to improve the right side. Other than that, this team's going to look the exact same. I have a lot of faith in this Dallas Stars team. We just got to make them slightly better. Now, I said I was going to be picking up a right defenseman, but I actually changed my mind. We're picking up a left defenseman. Miro Heiskanen, you're going to play on the right side. Dmitry Orlov, you're going to be a great defenseman for us. 50% retained. Carolina, you got to do me a favor here. I need Carolina to retain at least 50%. I'll include another second round pick. Hopefully that's going to be enough here. We're overpaying by a ton. I didn't want to get to this point, but I guess it will. Carolina, we're winning a Stanley Cup this season. I'm giving you multiple first round picks. Things might be getting out of hand, but we had to get that deal done. So there we go. We're done with the deals. The forward core is going to look the exact same. The defense is looking better with Dmitry Orlov. I think we're in a really good spot here. Let's go win a Stanley Cup. Let's just not choke in the Stanley Cup final. For once, can we finally win? I don't know how many teams we've rebuilt so far. We've been to 2 Stanley Cup finals, but we haven't been able to close it out. Dallas, can you be that team for us? So although we didn't make too many trades, I really just didn't want to mess up this Dallas Stars team. 5th in the entire league here, a 50-24-8 record. I'm not really surprised by anything here. The offense, 3.22. Was kind of hoping that'd be a bit better, but we have one of the best defenses in the entire league, if not the best defense. I actually think we do have the best defense. We do. The Dallas Stars right now with the best defense in the entire league, but as we know, the best defense in the regular season doesn't translate to the postseason. It rarely does. Offensively, we were great throughout the entire lineup. Jason Robertson, Matt Duchene, Rupe Hintz, Tyler Seguin, Logan Stankoven, Mason Marchman, everyone's performing here. And then when it comes to goaltending, of course, Jake Onger's going to perform, but he's performing in the regular season. I need every single player on this team to look elite in the playoffs. I need the offense to score. I need the puck to stay out of our net. We have to win a Stanley Cup. So Dallas, it's time to lock in here. We're allowing 4 goals in game number 1. Not ideal, but luckily we're going to be scoring 5 goals. We have to win game number 2. Oh boy, I'm getting concerned. Maybe not. We won back-to-back games. Let's win 3 in a row here and move on to the second round. Dallas, I need you to close this series out early, and that's what you're doing. So we made to the second round, and now we have our toughest task by far, the Edmonton Oilers. I believe if we can beat Edmonton, we'll cruise to a Stanley Cup. That might be wishful thinking, though. Like, there's a lot of good teams left in the East, so we shouldn't get ahead of ourselves here. Also, I'm pretty sure I just saw Stuart Skinner have a 947 save percentage and a 181 goals against. That is not realistic. If Stuart Skinner is putting up those numbers, we are absolutely cooked here. But you know what? The boys are rolling. Can we win back-to-back games? Unfortunately not. We're down to a best of 3. A best of 3 is going to settle this series, and we're dropping game 5. I'm not surprised about that in the slightest. I actually expected us to lose that game, but we're going to win this one right here. The Dallas Stars are going to lock in 3 goals. Make that 4 goals. Is it going to be 5 goals? Make that 7 goals. 7 goals in an elimination game. Yeah, let's spin that wheel. 7 goals. 7 goals in game number 6. We really did that. The New York Rangers are one of the last teams where it's almost a guaranteed chip. We have to win this season. We have to win with the Rangers. No folding. I can't even be mad about a 917 to 290. I really can't. Like, I fully expected these numbers to be worse. And then here's the rest of the team. Yeah, nobody was good. Who had the best plus minus here? Shout to Labushkin, one of the few good players on this team, and Lindell. Now, outside of these two guys, everyone else was terrible. So the New York Rangers is another team that I believe should be an easy rebuild, but of course it won't be because we all know we're going to completely fold when it matters most. The fourth line needs a slight upgrade, not too much though. The defense needs a slight upgrade here, not too much. Goaltending, perfectly fine. We're going to make 2 trades here, then we're going to lose in the second round. Obviously, that's not the plan, but that's the expectation because we all know it's going to happen. All right, so here's the deal. It's a first rounder, a third, and Philip Hedl over to the Washington Capitals. The reason we're trading Philip Hedl away is because it clears up enough cap space for us to do a move like this. Rasmus Sedin and Connor McMichael are both going to join the team. Connor McMichael is also an 84 overall, so he's just going to replace Philip Hedl, but we're also getting an upgrade defensively in a deal like this. Washington Capitals is going to say no to that one, but we do have a couple more draft picks here, but not too many. So here's a 5th rounder, and here's another 5th rounder. I guess we could do 2 firsts in this deal, but we're not going to have to. So we're going to make one more trade here because I think the defense is in a great spot. Pius Suter, I'm going to bring you in. You got to play some third line minutes for us. Now, New York, you are one of the last hopes. You are the last hope for us. Please win. All right, so we cleaned up the bottom 6. Pius Suter is going to be joining the team. Connor McMichael is going to join the team. He's got a good fit on the second line here. We're getting a +1 boost. When it comes to the defense, these are the lines we're rocking. Not these lines right here. Nope, Rasmus Sedin is going to play on the top line. Ryan Lindgren, I guess you can play on the second pairing. I mean, it doesn't really matter. These are the lines we're rocking, though. Sedin, I want you playing over Miller just because you have a better line fit on that top line. But that doesn't matter. We're going to look at goaltending. Shesterkin's going to lead the way, 93 overall. One of the best goaltenders we've had outside of Hellbuck. Win a Stanley Cup. Let's hoist our first Stanley Cup here. We have rebuilt over 10 teams and we haven't won a Stanley Cup. It's got to be rigged. I think it's rigged at this point. There is no way with the teams I've constructed we haven't won a Stanley Cup. Even with teams like the Chicago Blackhawks, there is no way that Blackhawks team I constructed misses the playoffs. They were a good team. There's no reason they should have missed. Well, this is not a great sign. The Dallas Stars finished first, and we finished 5th in the entire league. What happened last time we finished 5th in the entire league? Things didn't work out for us. Panarin, 107 points. He's looking fantastic this season. Zibanejad, Trocheck, Connor McMichael, Kreider, Adam Fox. No one's looking too bad here. Adam Fox is only +7, though, so that is a bit concerning. As long as the offense steps up in the postseason, we'll be fine. The past couple postseasons in which we've been eliminated, the defenses look spectacular. It's been the offense and the fact that we don't score goals. We're taking on the New Jersey Devils, a very offensive-oriented team. If we can outscore them, we'll be fine. But we have to outscore them. Like, we have to outscore the New Jersey Devils. If we want to win, we have to outscore the Devils. We're picking up 4 goals in game number 1, and we're only allowing 1. So maybe the defense is going to win us this series. We're immediately dropping game number 2. Couldn't even finish that sentence, but we're going to respond in game number 3. I think the boys have figured it out here. A 3-1 series lead. Let's close it out against the Devils and move on to the second round. The Rangers aren't messing around here. Okay, maybe they are. They're dropping game number 5. Don't drop game number 6. As long as we don't drop game 6, we'll be in a great spot here. And thankfully, we're not dropping game 6. We're not losing to Columbus. I refuse to lose to Columbus here. We're not doing that. Like, we're not losing to Columbus. I refuse to lose to Columbus here. Merzlikins is not playing good hockey right now. Bro has an 880 save percentage and a goals against above 3. And you know what? We're going to utilize that. We're absolutely smoking the Columbus Blue Jackets. We're moving on to the conference finals to take on the Toronto Maple Leafs. Never again will we lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We're taking this team out. We're allowing 5 goals in game number 1. But who cares? Okay, I care. I was about to say who cares because we're winning 3 straight games. But that's actually not the case. Instead, we're going to go to game 6 elimination. Wow, we've never been here before. I've never been to game 6 elimination before. When was the last time I went to game 6 elimination? I don't think that's ever happened before. We're exchanging goals in the first period. Toronto's going to absolutely dominate in the second period, and they're going to eliminate us here because we're absolute frauds, allowing 7 goals in game 6. Wow, when was the last time we allowed 7 goals in game 6? Like, this is a joke, right? This has to be a joke. The Toronto Maple Leafs are about to win another Stanley Cup here. Are they actually? Never mind. It looks like the Vegas Golden Knights are up. But that's neither here nor there. Every single time we have a chance at winning the Stanley Cup, we choke in the most amazing fashion. Back-to-back years, in game number 6, we've allowed 7 goals. How does that even happen? We allowed 15 goals in a 3-game stretch here. We allowed 7 goals, 1 goal, 7 goals. Like, it's getting ridiculous. This is honestly ridiculous at this point. I don't get it. I truly don't get it. And it's kind of funny. I said if we were going to to win in the postseason, the offense had to be amazing. And the offense was amazing. What was lacking for us? Goaltending. I mean, it wasn't really goaltending. A 909 and 280 isn't atrocious, but it's not good by any means. Goaltending wasn't good enough. Goaltending wasn't good enough. Defense wasn't good enough. Our offense was actually good. Like Shesterkin knows some of the remaining goaltenders, you did have some of the better numbers here. So you know what? You were one of the top goaltenders, but it's just not good enough here. We're trying to win Stanley Cups, and we can't do that. No, this constant disappointment's really hurting my heart. How does it happen every single season? Wow, I'm so happy we're getting the Vegas Golden Knights. What a great team. If only I'd gotten the Vegas Golden Knights in that last simulation, because what happened in that last simulation? Oh, they won the Stanley Cup. Yeah, that's amazing. Absolute nonsense. I'm sick and tired of it. Alright, Vegas, I hope you're prepared to allow 7 goals in game number 6. Doesn't matter what round it is. Are you guys prepared to allow 7 goals in game number 6? You better be, because that's what's going to happen here. Also, Aiden Hill's only an A3 overall. Didn't realize he was an A3 overall. For some reason, I thought he was a higher overall than that. So we got to improve the defense a little bit here, and I think Adam Larsson would be a great second pairing defenseman for us. 84 overall. He's a great defensive defenseman, and he's going to help us win a Stanley Cup. Or he's going to help us lose in game 6 by allowing 7 goals. One of the two. So we're going to make one more trade, and this one's going to come from the Philadelphia Flyers. We're bringing in Morgan Frost. We need a third line playmaker, and I really think he would fill that role great for us. I'll throw a 4th rounder into the deal. Philly's accepting this one. Now let's go losing game 6 by allowing 7 goals. Alright, so here's the Vegas Golden Knights. A couple changes here, Morgan Frost being one of them. We're really not doing too much to the forward core here. The big change came with the defense. We're going to see Adam Larsson on the second pairing alongside Shea Theodore. This is going to be a really solid pairing for us. The defense is in a great spot, and then when it comes to goaltending, Aiden Hill, I watched you win a Stanley Cup in that last simulation. You better not let me down here. Spin the wheel. In the last simulation, the Vegas Golden Knights won the Stanley Cup with Aiden Hill leading the way. We missed the playoffs after picking up Adam Larsson and adding him to the Vegas Golden Knights. We added Adam Larsson to the Vegas Golden Knights and then missed the playoffs. I don't know what to do anymore. I really don't. I don't know what it's going to take for us to win a Stanley Cup. Minnesota, you better do something spectacular here. Alright, it's time to get insane here. We're just expecting a different result, even though we're going to do the exact same thing with every single team here. We got some decent pieces, but you know what? We got to make a couple changes here. The goaltending tandem's not looking too bad here. I think we got to rock with Phil Gustafsson and Marc-Andre Fleury. Neither of them are really that low of an overall. Like, we got an 85 and an 84 here. Maybe clean up the bottom 6 here. Try to bring in another superstar, but I don't think we're going to do too much with Minnesota. They're playing some elite hockey right now, so I think we just got to rock with what they have. Then again, that's what the thought process with Vegas was, and look how that worked out for us. Still haven't gone over the fact that Vegas missed the postseason with us. Like, that just should never happen. Alright, so here's what we're thinking. Spurgeon, a prospect, a 2nd and 3rd rounder over to the Boston Bruins. We bring in Pavel Zacha. He'll play some top 6 minutes for us. He's an 85 overall. That's not too bad. We're also going to bring in Carlo, 86 overall. He'll play some top 4 minutes on the defense. We're basically bringing in 2 players for the price of 1. Jared Spurgeon's going to be leaving the team, but you know what? We'll be able to bounce back for sure. They're saying it's a little bit low, so we'll throw a 7th rounder in the deal. Actually, we're not even going to waste our time. I'll give you an even more lucrative 6th round pick, and you're going to accept that one. So the Boston Bruins are just going to keep on supplying us with a bunch of studs here. Trennan, a 3rd and 4th round, is going to be shipped out. We're bringing in a better player in Trent Frederick. Not only is he a better player, he's a higher overall, cheaper contract, and he has a better fit on the 3rd line. So in every metric, this is a great deal for us. Now we got to make one more move here to pick up Tommy Novak. He'll be a good piece for us. He is a good fit on the 3rd line. I know he basically has the exact same contract as Trennan, who we traded away. However, Tommy Novak's going to have a better fit, and that's going to make the difference. Having good fits on the bottom 6 is going to mean a ton here. Now that we've made all these trades, let's go win a Stanley Cup. So we made some trades, and the team's looking better. Zacha's going to play alongside Eriksson, Ek, and Kaprizov. On the 3rd line, we're going to see Novak and Trent Frederick. They're going to help a ton because they have great line fits. When it comes to the defense, Carlo's going to play on the top line. He's got a perfect fit here. Brock Faber's going to move down to the 2nd pairing where he has a better fit. Then when it comes to goaltending, we have 2 guys we can rely on here. Depending on who's the better goaltender heading into the postseason, so we're going to rock here. Minnesota, you do not understand what I've gone through to get to this point. I cannot ask for anything more than just 16 wins in the postseason. Give me 16 wins and you'll go down as one of the greatest teams of all time. Besides the St. Louis Blues, there's no stick on the ice legend teams. We might get our first legendary team besides the St. Louis Blues. Now, Minnesota, you had the chance to become the 2nd ever team to become a stick on the ice legend. Instead, you did the exact opposite. Like, you were awful this season, 26th in the entire league. You are no longer in consideration to become a stick on the ice legend team. If anything, you are now a top 5 hated team. Just because of this right here, top 5 hated team. And I don't understand why this team just didn't succeed. Like, I really don't get it. Actually, I take it all back. Philip Gustafsson, you posted a 351. How in the world did did you post a 351? So just for a bit of context, here's the Minnesota Wild. They're currently sitting 4th in the entire league as I'm recording this video, a 13-44-4 record. 4th in the entire league, by the way. Let's go take a look at Philip Gustafson's numbers. Oh geez, bro's looking pretty good right now. A 923 and a 218. He posted me an 890 and a 351. Ain't no way. Like at this point, I actually don't even know what to say. I really don't. Philip Gustafson is posting a 218 in real life. Bro posted a 351 for me. How is it that far off? Like I made 3 trades and all 3 trades benefited our team. I got 2 better players for the bottom 6. And those 2 players I got actually have better line fits. Not only are they higher overalls, they have better line fits. I also traded for Brandon Carlo. I believe he was basically the same overall as Jared Spurgeon. Might have been slightly better. But I played him on the top pairing. And why did I do that? Because he had a really good fit on the top pairing. And who had a really good fit on the second pairing? Brock Faber. If I flipped those 2 guys, we would have been worse off. So I kept Brock Faber on the second pairing and Brandon Carlo on the first. And somehow I made this team significantly worse. Not slightly worse, significantly worse. It doesn't make sense. Also, we've got the San Jose Sharks, so that's great. So we missed the playoffs with the Vegas Golden Knights and we missed the playoffs with the Minnesota Wild. Now we have the San Jose Sharks. If we somehow make the playoffs with this team, I will literally lose my mind. I can't handle it. I cannot handle the San Jose Sharks making the playoffs over Vegas and Minnesota. We're going to make a couple trades here. We're not going to get too crazy, but I actually want this team to fail. And the only reason I want this team to fail is I don't think I could handle San Jose making the playoffs. But when I have teams such as Vegas and Minnesota, they don't even make the playoffs. It just wouldn't be right. Then again, it would be really funny. Alright, we need to make a splash, and if we want to win a Stanley Cup, we need these 2 studs right here. One of the greatest in the game, Robert Thomas. Another great in the game, Jordan Kyrou. Both of them are coming to San Jose. Sam Dickinson, Will Smith, Granlund, and Liljegren are all going to be sent over here. I don't think this is going to be enough, but we'll throw our first round pick in the deal. We're going to get this one done. I don't care what it takes. We are getting this deal done. I mean, maybe we could just throw this second round pick in and maybe that'll be enough. I'm going to offer that over. Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, lead us to greatness. Alright, so here's the deal I'm looking at next. Cody Ceci, Sturm, a first rounder, and Blackwood all sent over to Seattle. Adam Larson, you're joined the team. Borgren, you're joined the team. Joey Decord, you're joined the team. I'm going to be honest. Adam Larson didn't look at your line fits. Borgren didn't look at your line fits. But it doesn't matter. We're going to make it work here. So this is the final deal. This is probably the fastest I've rebuilt the team so far. Barclay Goodrow, Juan Ruda, a first round picks all be sent over to Philly. Owen Tippett, Cam York, welcome to the team. Let's go win. Okay, apparently they want a second rounder as well. You guys are being a little bit greedy here. But here's the second round pick. We're overpaying, but that's perfectly fine. We're getting the 2 guys we need. This was the fastest rebuild. I didn't look at any line fits whatsoever. So I have no clue if any of these guys fit on lines. But watch this team make the playoffs. So I think this rebuild took me maybe 4 minutes. And we're going to see if this 4-minute rebuild is good enough for the San Jose Sharks to get into the postseason. Robert Thomas, Jordan Kyrou, Owen Tippett. These are going to be 3 great additions to the team. We got Tyler Toffoli here as well. We rebuilt the entire left side of the defense. Cam York, Adam Larson, Borgren. That should help a lot here. We also got ourselves a new goaltender, Joey Decord. I'm expecting you to do big things here. Ashcroft, you're going to be the backup. We have a decent tandem here. If this team gets into the postseason, I'm losing my mind though. Ain't no way. Ain't no way. The San Jose Sharks made the playoffs, but Vegas and Minnesota missed. I am fully convinced at this point it is 100% random because we don't have a good record by any means. We are not a good team. We're going to head into the postseason with 40 wins. Make that 41 wins. 41 wins got us into the postseason here. That shouldn't have happened. You know what? We'll take a look at the stats later. Let's simulate the playoffs here. I don't know how the San Jose Sharks made the playoffs. I don't know how we just won game number 1. I was fully expecting this team to get swept, but this team right here will probably win a Stanley Cup. Out of all the teams we've rebuilt so far, it's going to be the San Jose Sharks, isn't it? We are a wild card team, and we're putting the pressure on the Vancouver Canucks right now. We're 1 game away from eliminating them. This makes no sense. This makes 0 sense whatsoever. Yeah, we got momentum. We're not stopping. We'll look at stats and everything at the end of the postseason, but there's no way we beat Edmonton, right? Like, I refuse to believe we're going to beat the Edmonton Oilers. The San Jose Sharks beating the Edmonton Oilers is just not right. But Robert Thomas is that man, I guess. Robert Thomas is him. He is leading this San Jose Sharks team. They are doing the impossible. Now, as long as you don't blow a 3-0 series lead, I'm going to be happy here. No, we really just made it to the conference finals. The San Jose Sharks are really doing the impossible, and it's led by Robert Thomas right now. Robert Thomas is looking like him, and you know what? Things are immediately going from good to bad. We're down 3-1 in the series against the Colorado Avalanche. We got to make this comeback. We got to make a 3-1 series comeback, and it's got to start in this game right here. The offense has completely disappeared. The boys are folding. The boys are not folding. We're still alive. Just when I thought this team was down and out, the boys are waking up here. We got game 6 coming up. Colorado, you had your chance to eliminate us. You had your chance in game number 5, but you messed up. The San Jose Sharks are going to win this series, and we're going to go on to win the Stanley Cup here. We lost 5-1. Allowing 5 unanswered. We're not going to talk about it. So we made it to the conference finals, but it wouldn't be enough here. Tyler Toffoli, 76 points. Jordan Kyrou, 71. It's good to see that EA still doesn't respect Robert Thomas, although he is a 90 overall right now. 31 goals, 39 assists, 70 points. This man is an 82-point player. Allow him to record 82 points in a season. It's ridiculous. Joey Decord, you were absolutely amazing this season. You're the reason we made it into the postseason because Ashcroft was cooked. We lost in the conference finals, though. The Colorado Avalanche won the Stanley Cup after making a 3-1 series comeback. Do want to mention that. Where is Robert Thomas? Where is he? Where is Robert Thomas? This is ridiculous. I made this comment in NHL 24. Robert Thomas just doesn't sim well. No matter what you do with this man, he will never sim well. I don't get it. But this is beyond ridiculous. This is stupid. Where is he? 5 assists. 5 assists. This man scored how many goals during the regular season? He scored 30-some goals, didn't he? 31 goals, 39 assists for 70 points. He wasn't quite a point a game, but he was averaging like 0.87 points per game or something. Then in the postseason, 5 points in 16 games. It isn't right. That's not fair. Not fair whatsoever to Robert Thomas. Joey Decord was good enough to be the guy for us. We should have won a Stanley Cup, but the simulation said, nah, I'm going to make Robert Thomas terrible. Robert Thomas slander will not be tolerated around here. We got to change things up here. The Tampa Bay Lightning, I can win with this team. We have a great defensive core, we have amazing goaltending, and we have an amazing forward core. I am actually scared to make trades with this team because every time I get a competitive team and I make trades, I actually make the team worse. So the Tampa Bay Lightning might be the first team I don't make trades with because I'm actually scared to make trades with this team. So here's our Tampa Bay Lightning team. Obviously, this team's looking amazing so far in real life. Is that going to translate into NHL 25? Absolutely not. But I am very scared to make changes for this team. I do think we have a good defensive core, so that probably won't change whatsoever. And then when it comes to goaltending, obviously that's not going to be changed because Vasilevsky is going to be the guy here. We might make one trade though. But I am very scared to make one trade. Like, I feel like it just doesn't matter. Like, if we make one trade, somehow that one trade is going to screw things up here. But if I did something like this, I don't hate this. Like, I really don't. But you know what? I will make one trade here. Although I think that is the wrong decision, we'll make one. So we're going to make one trade here. And this is actually a trade I'm okay with. A second rounder over to the Seattle Kraken. Ty Cartier, Daniel Sprong, both you guys are going to be brought to the team here. You're going to provide some bottom 6 help for us. But outside of those 2 players, nobody else is being brought to the team. So Ty Cartier, Daniel Sprong, you're joining the 3rd line here. No trades will be made other than this. This is what we're rocking here. Do not let me down. Under no circumstances is this team allowed to let me down. We have to win a Stanley Cup. Like, technically, I could trade every single pick away here, and I could bring in a handful more superstar players, but I feel like if I do that, I will somehow make this team worse. I don't know how it works. The more trades I make, the worse we do. It doesn't make any sense to me. Like, if I had Connor McDavid and Austin Matthews to the Tampa Bay Lightning, somehow this team will miss the playoffs. I don't know how that works, but that's what will happen. I'm going to lose my mind. I am genuinely going to lose my mind. How are the Tampa Bay Lightning one of the worst teams in the division right now? The Ottawa Senators and Montreal Canadiens are better than us right now. Tampa, y'all better figure it out because we're not missing the postseason. That's not happening. Now, Tampa, y'all got incredibly lucky. Like, very lucky. 11th in the entire league, 44, 35, and 3. This makes no sense. It really doesn't. Kuch had 101 points this season. I don't know who let us down. It looks like the second line did. I know we didn't technically have a true right winger, but that doesn't matter. Players play out of position all the time. At one point this season, Buchnevich was a center. In NHL 25, he is not a center, but that doesn't matter. Sometimes players can play out of position. That's kind of what we try to do with the second line. Clearly, it didn't work for us. The Tampa Bay Lightning taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. We all know what has to happen here. Win a Stanley Cup. We all know that won't happen, but a man can dream. No, like, I had such high hopes at the beginning of this video. I'm thinking like 10, maybe 15 Stanley Cups if we're lucky. We are, what, almost 20 teams in and we're yet to win one? It's getting ridiculous. Like, it's ridiculous. We're at least halfway through the team so far, and we haven't won a single Stanley Cup. We're about to sweep the Toronto Maple Leafs, and that's going to be really funny. Never mind, we're probably going to blow a 3-1 series lead. I can see it all happening right now. The simulation doesn't want me to see success. They really don't. We're going to simulate these next 2 games. I'm not jumping into Simcast. Never mind, we don't have to. We're beating the Leafs. We got lucky. So we moved on to the second round. I thought we were going to blow a 3-0 series lead. Apparently not. We got the Boston Bruins up next. Keep on winning. I'm on the verge of saying something right now, and if the Tampa Bay Lightning lose, I might say it. Alright, we're going to be splitting the first 2 games. We're winning game number 3. We're winning game number 4 here. If Tampa wins, I'm actually really happy. I didn't say what I was about to say, and I'm on the verge of saying it. You probably think I'm going to say something really absurd, but I'm not. It would just be really dumb. Like, really financially dumb. But we made it to the conference finals. We got the New York Rangers taking on the Tampa Bay Lightning. We don't want to make bad financial decisions, but we might be. We're down 3-1 in this series. How many times so far in the video have I been down 3-1 in the conference finals? Just in the conference finals. Like, we've made it to the conference finals maybe 6 times in this video, and I feel like of those 6 times, we've been down 3-1 in the series at least 4 times. It's ridiculous. The Rangers are picking up the first goal. Panarin's going to be scoring 1 the second here, but Chernak is going to be responding. Getting a bit of offense from the defense here, but we can't lose. Panarin scored. Okay, here's the comment I'm going to make. The first team to win a Stanley Cup here, I'm buying a jersey for that team. Hey, this is Stick on the Ice editing the video right now. I retract this statement. I went and looked at jersey prices. That's not happening. I'm not spending that much money on a jersey. No, like, this video has really gone from I'm going to try to win a Stanley Cup with every team by doing a 1-year rebuild, and it has slowly become a challenge video. Whose jersey will I buy out of the remaining teams that we have? We have gone through way too many teams here to not have a Stanley Cup. Based on the offensive numbers I'm seeing, I feel like Vasilevsky was really bad during the postseason. No, he wasn't. Okay, I just have bad luck, I guess. So we have 15 teams left on the wheel. We're going to go ahead and spin. We're landing on the Seattle Kraken. I'm not going to lie, I already bought a Seattle Kraken jersey. I bought that signed Andre Burakovsky jersey because of a video I did like a year ago. I would prefer to not buy another Seattle Kraken jersey, but you know what? I guess we'll see what happens. So we're facing a massive dilemma here. Do I want the Seattle Kraken to win? And do I want to buy a Seattle Kraken jersey? Of course, I already have a Seattle Kraken jersey. It's a signed Andre Burakovsky jersey. I can guarantee you, I am the only person where I live who, 1, owns an Andre Burakovsky jersey, and 2, owns a signed Andre Burakovsky jersey. There is probably not anyone within 500 kilometers of me that owns a signed Andre Burakovsky jersey, and I am very confident making that statement. Joey Daccord is going to be the goaltender. I saw what he did a couple seasons ago for us, so I'm going to rock with him again here. We're going to make a couple changes to the offensive core. We're probably going to trade Shane right away here, and then don't be surprised if we package him up along with Bjorkstrand and try to get another superstar. I think that wouldn't be a bad idea. Alright, so this is going to be trade number 1 just to free up a bit of money. James Schwartz off to the Anaheim Ducks. We're getting 2 third-rounders. Never mind, we're getting 1 third-rounder in this deal, but I'm perfectly fine with that. Anaheim's getting a steal apparently, but we're going to be the ones getting the real steal after we get the steal done. So here's the trade we're making. Berkeley Catton, Bjorkstrand, and a first-round pick is going to be sent over to the Florida Panthers. Carver Hagee, Sam Bennett, welcome to the team. We're going to have to include a bit more in this deal, but we'll get it done. Unfortunately, we don't really have anything fitting their trade block, so that's why this deal is going to be so difficult to get done. But eventually, we are getting it done, but we did have to overpay a little bit. So we're going to move on to the Montreal Canadiens, and next we're going to be bringing Gooley to the team. We need a bit more defensive help here, and that's what he's going to bring to the team. Riker Evans and 2 third-rounders are going to be sent over, and I believe this should be enough for Caden Gooley, and it looks like it will be. Alright, so we're going to make one final trade here, picking up Matthew Nyes as well as a 2nd and 3rd rounder. We're not going to use the 2nd and 3rd rounder because we're going to just rock with the team we have right now. I think this team's going to be able to win a Stanley Cup, and I'm going to be buying another Seattle Kraken jersey. Ain't no way. Alright, here we go, Seattle. We're great down the middle here. Like, we have 4 great centers that we can run. Even the wingers aren't looking too bad. We might be missing that absolute superstar, but you know what? I think we're in a great spot here, especially with the line chemistry. Vince Dunn, Brandon Montour, I need you to lead the way for us. The other 2 pairings are going to be here for defense, and they're going to keep the puck out of our net. When it comes to goaltending, Joey Daccord, I saw what you did a couple years ago with the San Jose Sharks. Seattle's certainly a better team, so I'm expecting even more success. Just thought I'd point this out. 55 wins. 55, 16, and 11. Just wanted to point that out. Like, they had the exact same coaches as what I had, and yet they were first in the entire league. Seattle's going to be 9th here, a 43, 28, and 11 record. Not going to lie, we're frauds. The only reason that we're 9th in the entire league is because of the overtime losses. Carver Hagee, 74 points. Not going to lie, I was expecting more from you. Sam Bennett, 63 points. Not going to lie, expecting more from you. Matthew Nyes, 56 points. I actually don't hate. Like, you were actually as good as advertised here. When it comes to goaltending, Joey Daccord, you got us into the postseason yet again here. But can you win us a Stanley Cup? That's what really matters. Senators. We have the Vancouver Canucks in the first round. Joey Daccord was able to beat them last time when we were controlling the San Jose Sharks, so you better do it again. So this is what we'll do. If the Seattle Kraken win right here, Joey Daccord, I will buy your jersey. I'm taking that back immediately. You allowed 6 goals. I'll buy somebody's jersey, but I don't think it's going to be Joey Daccord. Unless he puts on an absolute masterclass here, don't drop game number 4. Joey Daccord, I'm not buying your jersey because we're not going to get past Vancouver, are we? We're going to fall in 5 games. 7 goals. Joey Daccord, I need to know how many goals you allowed. What was that man's goals against? He allowed what? 5 goals in the first game, and then 7 goals in that last game. Nobody on this team scored goals, but Joey Daccord an 885 and a 374. Nah, this ain't it. So it's time to spin that wheel and figure out which team we're going to be losing with next. It's going to be the Florida Panthers. I'm losing my mind. Florida, please win. That's all I can say here. Florida, please win. We have to win. We got to get a new right winger, though. Yeah, Greer is not going to be good enough here. For Heggie, can't you play both sides? For Heggie, I thought you used to be a left winger / right winger. You know what? We're doing this. For Heggie, you're playing on the right side. Sam Bennett, you're going to play left wing. And then Anton Lindell, you're going to play center. This is a much better line. Yeah, we're just going to work on the bottom 6 a little bit. These are some very questionable lines that the CPU is running. That's all I'm going to say. Now, this is really the only deal we can do here, picking up Chinakhov. This team has basically negative cap space. This is really all we could afford. All right, we made one trade because that's really all we could afford to do here. Chinakhov, welcome to the team. You're going to play some bottom 6 minutes. Florida, please win a Stanley Cup here. Save me from the constant disappointment. I'm losing my mind here. All I see is L after L after L. I need to see a W. We can't lose forever. All right, we're on attempt number 18. I've actually lost track, and I'm starting to lose my mind here. Florida Panthers, wow, what a surprise. The team sucked once I started controlling them. 13th in the entire league. It's actually funny. If I didn't make any trades, and if I didn't control the team, they would win. They just would. Like, it's the same coaching staff, the same coaches, the same players, the same goaltending. But for some reason, now that I'm controlling them, they just immediately start playing terrible. It's actually funny. Florida Panthers are taking on the Detroit Red Wings in the first round. Just don't lose in the first round. Like, I don't know how it's happening. Like, I just don't understand it. Why can we never win Stanley Cups? We are on like our 18th team. Like, I've lost track at this point. All I know is this team should be significantly better than how they've performed. Not even the Florida Panthers. Every single team I've been in control of should have been significantly better than how they performed. Can we take the Red Wings down? Yes, we can. We're off to the second round. So we have the Toronto Maple Leafs. I refuse to lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs. We can't lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs. Florida, I need you to end the drought. I need somebody to end the drought here. The Stanley Cup-less drought. We're going to have a longer Stanley Cup drought than the Toronto Maple Leafs if we keep this up. And it looks like we're going to keep it up. Never mind. We're splitting the series so far. But it doesn't matter because you know what's going to happen in the conference finals? We're going to be down 3-1 in the series because that seems to happen way too often. Never mind. We might not even make it to the conference finals. We might not make it to the conference finals because we're about to lose to the Toronto Maple Leafs in the second round of all places. Ain't no way we're losing to the Toronto Maple Leafs in the second round. This isn't happening. The Toronto Maple Leafs never make it to the second round, and you're telling me they're beating teams now? No, this is stupid. This is beyond ridiculous. We can't win. I just can't win. I don't know what it is. In the words of Nipsey Hussle, I know I can't win them all, but I can't keep losing. But I think I can keep losing. I think I'm going to lose them all. Like, how is this happening? How have we lost every single time? And the Toronto Maple Leafs win the Stanley Cup here. Never in a million years did I ever think I would be quoting Nipsey Hussle in an NHL 25 video, but here we are. I know I can't win them all, but I can't keep losing. And there's no way I keep losing. Like, there is no way that we keep on losing here. Just want to point out the goaltending numbers. Bobrovsky during the regular season, an 899 to 322. In the postseason, thank you, Bobrovsky, a 922 and a 253. I can't ask for any more. You did everything in your power to help this team win. What happened to the forwards? Yeah, these guys just left. Don't know where they went, but they just packed their bags and they said, no, we're out of here. And nobody scored. That's why we lost. So I'm not going to be buying a Florida Panthers jersey. Who could I potentially be buying one for? The Carolina Hurricanes. If we win with Carolina, I wouldn't be against it. Carolina, it's time for me to turn to you guys. I don't know who else to turn to, but it's your time now. You have to win me a Stanley Cup here. I'm scared to make trades because every time I make trades, I somehow mess things up here. But we have great goaltending. We have a great defensive core. We're going to make 1 or 2 trades. We're not doing too much with this team. I feel like we have a pretty solid core here. but we need to make at least one move. Alright, so here's the trade. I'm looking at Kotkaniemi, Jesper Fast, and 2 first-round picks over to the Tampa Bay Lightning. We're going to bring in Hagel. We're going to bring in Geeky. We're going all in. This is the deal we have to make. I know they don't want Jesper Fast in this deal, but I don't really care what you want. Here's a second-round pick as well just to accept this deal. Please accept it. You don't want Jesper Fast. I need to include him. If I don't include him, we can't get this deal done. So this is what we'll do. Kotkaniemi, 2 first-rounders, Dmitry Orlov, and a young prospect over to the Tampa Bay Lightning. Hagel, Moser, Connor Geeky, welcome to the team. Bro, you're telling me you're not going to accept this? You really don't want this deal right here? We're so incredibly close to getting this deal done. If I take Connor Geeky out of the deal, we can't do this because we'll be over the salary cap. I don't know how we get this done. Actually, yes, I do. Dmitry Orlov, I can retain half of your contract. So we're retaining $2.4 million on Orlov's contract. I'll throw a 3rd-round pick into the deal. Tampa's going to be saying yes. We're not done yet. I still want Connor Geeky. I haven't given up with that. Like, just give me Connor Geeky here. I don't know why it's such a big deal. I want Connor Geeky. Here's 2 second-round picks. I'm overpaying by a ton. Give me Connor Geeky. All right, here we go. We have a great forward core here. Seth Jarvis, Hagel, you're going to hold it down the second line alongside Jack Roslovic. We have a great bottom 6 I can rely on. We have a bunch of great defensemen I can rely on here. JJ Moser, you might not fit on the 3rd line, but you know what? That's what you're going to play. Unless Shane Gostisbehere fits there, which he does. So we're going to switch things up a little bit. These are the lines we're actually going to run. And then when it comes to goaltending, Freddie Anderson, Kochetkov, somebody win. I truly give up. I really do. It doesn't matter if you give me a team of all Wayne Gretzky's. They will somehow disappoint. They will find a way to disappoint me. I don't know how this team couldn't score goals. I really don't. I feel like I'm getting tricked right now by how good a team is in real life compared to NHL 25. I feel like there is a massive difference there that I'm just completely neglecting right now. Like Brandon Hagel, I picked him up and expected him to do massive things here. He picked up 42 points. Now, 42 points for Brandon Hagel is bad. Like, this is just bad by Brandon Hagel's standards. Bro picked up 75 points last season. The year before that, he picked up 64. Before he joined the Tampa Bay Lightning back in 2022, he had 37 points with the Chicago Blackhawks. Bro picked up 42 points this season. Brandon Hagel right now has 26 points in 20 games. He has 9 goals in 20 games so far. He picked up 12 in 82. How does that work? Goaltending was amazing. I guess we could look at those numbers. I shouldn't completely ignore the one good thing that happened for this team. Okay, it wasn't even the one good thing. Kochetkov was terrible. Get well soon. Bro got absolutely rocked the other night. So yeah, Kochetkov, get well soon. Freddie Anderson, be a superstar for us. No, like Kochetkov got absolutely run over. That man got knocked out. That didn't look good. Hopefully it's going to be a quick recovery for Bro. But yeah, that was a tough one to watch. We got the New York Rangers taking on the Carolina Hurricanes here. Freddie Anderson, I need a masterclass. Well, we made it through most of this video without the recording being paused for some reason. We won series number 1 against the New York Rangers. We're moving on to the second round against the New Jersey Devils, and we're about to lose 3 straight games here unless we turn it around in game number 4, and that's exactly what we're going to do here. What are the odds the one postseason we win here, it's when the recording was paused? Okay, I might have to take that back. We're off to game 6 elimination. But I was going to say, what are the odds the one year we finally win a Stanley Cup, we didn't see the first round because the recording was paused? Honestly, it wouldn't surprise me. But here we go, an elimination game against the New Jersey Devils. We're picking up the first goal of the game. Shout out to Sebastian Aho. I need elite defense in the 3rd period here. We allowed 3 goals. Why do I even talk at this point? Let's spin the wheel. Like, seriously, 3 goals in the 3rd period. I needed you to play elite for like 20 minutes. And we would have been fine. But nope, we're going to be losing. We're moving on to the St. Louis Blues next. If I win with the St. Louis Blues, I'm just going to add another St. Louis Blues jersey to my collection, and I'm not against that. I mean, before we move on, I guess we might as well just look at these guys' numbers. Jack Roslovic led the way with 9 points. That's basically all I need to know here. Respectfully, Jack Roslovic should not be leading the way for us. It should be Aho. It should be Seshnikov. It should be Marty Necas. Brandon Hagel, what did you do since we acquired you in the postseason? A whole lot of nothing. 5 points for you, 5 points for Seth Jarvis. That explains it all. Goaltending from Freddie Anderson. It was mid, but you know what? So was the offense. The entire team was mid. So I need a hero here, and I'm looking at Robert Thomas. I need you to be the hero. You have to be my savior. You have to save the day for me. Jordan Kyrou, Busnevich, both of you guys can help. But Robert Thomas, you have to be the guy that saves the day here. Looking at the defense, pretty mid here. Torrey Krug, Probably shouldn't be here, but you know what? We're not going to question it. Torrey Krug, although you're out for the entire season, you're going to help me today. Binnington, Joe Holfer, you guys can hold it down in between the pipes. We will win. Maybe. All right, here's trade number 1. Dalibor Dvorsky, Foxa, Joseph. A first-round pick's all going to be sent over to Winnipeg. Cole Perfetti, Gabe Vilardi, help us win a Stanley Cup here. They're saying no because they don't want all these forwards, but I don't really care what you want. I would throw a second-round pick in the deal, but we don't have a second-rounder, so here's a third-round pick. They're interested in Foxa. They don't really want Joseph. That's not the end of the world here, but I don't know how we get this deal done otherwise. I mean, we could do this. Not the biggest fan of this deal, but we could do something like this. We have to trade Broberg away. Granted, Broberg only is an 82 overall, which he should be a lot higher for how he's been playing. How is Philip Broberg an 82 overall? That's disrespectful to Broberg. Now we're praying for a miracle. I'm losing a St. Louis Blues legend in Scott Perunovich. Scott Perunovich, I had such high expectations for you. Never really lived up to those expectations, but you've been looking really solid this season. So you know what? Maybe he's just going to be a late. Maybe he's going to look good for the rest of this season. Maybe he's finally found his role here. But please give me Brandon Carlo. I need Brandon Carlo here. I didn't want to do this, but we're going to have to. I'll throw another first-round pick in the deal. If we throw this first-round pick, we'll definitely get the deal done. But you got to give me some assets back here. Give me a second, third, and fifth rounder. This isn't going to be enough. I'll take the fifth out. Please say you're going to say yes to this deal. They're saying no. Can I at least get the second-round pick in this deal? They don't even want to give me a second-rounder. I don't want to throw in this first-round pick and only get Carlo. Like, you got to give me at least a third-rounder back. They're saying no. I'll take one of the third-rounders out. They're still saying no. We're pretty close in value. I guess we're just doing this. We might begin finesse here, but we need a lot more defensive help. Now, this will be the final deal. Zachary Bolduc, a 5th, 6th, and 4th rounder, all over to the Columbus Blue Jackets. Voronkov, JVR, Chinikov, all of you guys are going to join the team. You're going to play some bottom 6 minutes for us. You're going to give us a bit more forward depth. But even with all these moves right here, I'm still not 100% sure if this is going to be enough. Now, the St. Louis Blues might be working on a bit of a rebuild right now, but that's not what I'm doing. I'm trying to win with this team right here. And is this team right here good enough to win? There's a lot of question marks, and there's a lot of arrows pointing towards the word no. So I would say this team's not ready to win. However, we just need Jordan Binnington to get incredibly hot once again. As long as the St. Louis Blues play somewhat good defense in front of Jordan Binnington, you're going to win games. A lot of the games that Jordan Binnington has lost, the defense has been atrocious in front of him. Play good defense, this team will win games. If Benner gets hot, we'll win a Stanley Cup. But yeah, there's a lot of faith in Benner right now. Also, Drew Bannister is still the coach as I'm recording this video. Obviously, Jim Montgomery's the coach now, but yeah, Drew Bannister, you better not hold us back. So not only were the St. Louis Blues good enough to get into the postseason, we were good enough to be second in our division, a 44-30-8 record. Although it's identical with the Winnipeg Jets, we're ahead of them. Sucks to suck. The boys are ready to win a Stanley Cup here. However, there's one thing we have to know. The defense on this team, not that great, but I think we knew that heading in. Number 2, the Colorado Avalanche are incredible this season. More than likely, we're going to have to take them on the second round. That's not going to be an easy task. Robert Thomas, 80 points. You'll love to see it. Should have been a point a game. Probably should be up to a 90 overall. But you know what? I'll take it. The team's not looking too bad right now. When it comes to goaltending, Jordan Binnington, he's locked in. 35 wins, 3 shots, a 914 and 277. Benner, win me the first Stanley Cup of the video. It all comes down to you. We have the Winnipeg Jets in the first round. Benner has to save the day. We need a Jordan Binnington masterclass right now. We need a masterclass. We allowed 6 goals in game number 1. Honestly, that's just kind of funny. I'm not going to lie. I was asking for a Jordan Binnington masterclass. We allowed 6 goals in game number 1. We are going to respond in game 3. We have to win game 4. Okay, maybe the boys aren't done yet. The boys are going to win 3 in a row. Then we're going to make it 4 in a row. And we're going to move on to the second round. That's 3 straight wins for St. Louis. Can we make it 4 straight wins? Take out the Winnipeg Jets in 6 games here. The boys are locked in. And I just want to point out Benner, 1 goal allowed in the past 2 games. He's not messing around anymore. But here's where things really matter. We have the Colorado Avalanche up next. The Colorado Avalanche are by far the best team in the league right now. I think they won like 63 games. The Colorado Avalanche are locked in, but they might be frauds. We're dominating so far. Can we take a 3-1 series lead? Yes, we can. The boys have a 3-1 series lead. No way St. Louis does this. Of all teams, it can't be St. Louis. The St. Louis Blues are doing it. We're 8-3 in the postseason. This team, I didn't expect to make it this far into the postseason. I'm going to be completely honest. We have Edmonton up next. We have to beat the Edmonton Oilers. We're taking game number 1. We're dropping game 2, but you know what? We're going to win game 3. We split the series. Game 5 is huge. Win game 5. Whatever you... Okay, 6 goals. Yep, there we go. Reality is set in here. The boys are collapsing. We have allowed like 16 goals in the past 3 games. That's not going to be good enough here. We're allowing 3 goals in the first period, but you know what? The boys are picking up 2 in the second. We have to win the third period. Win the third period to force game number 7. Win overtime to force game 7 here. It's going to Jeff Skinner. Jeff Skinner's ruining it for me. My heart's broken. But this right here, 6 goals allowed, 5 goals allowed, 6 goals allowed. It's not good enough. We were 2 games away from the Stanley Cup final with the St. Louis Blues. It's not going to be good enough, though. We're falling yet again here. We just can't win. I don't know why we can't win, but we just can't win. The Oilers are Stanley Cup champions. The boys lost again here. My heart's broken. Like, seriously, what is it going to take? What is it going to take for a team to win here? As we know, the Edmonton Oilers Stanley Cup champions, but what's it going to take? Buchnevich, 25 points. Jordan Kyrou, 18. Robert Thomas, 17. The boys performed. That hurts me. That hurts me deep to my core. Jordan Binnington, the goals against is skewed based on what happened in the final 4 games of the postseason. Would you allow 20 goals in the final 4 games? That's definitely going to skew things quite a bit here. But you were really good for us. It just wasn't good enough. It wasn't good enough. We just needed that one overtime goal, or we just needed a goal in the 3rd period to force Game 7. And if we were able to get past Edmonton, we would have been Stanley Cup champions. But you know what? That's not happening, so let's spin the wheel again. Now, thankfully, there is still a lot of really good teams on this wheel, so we might be able to win still. The Vancouver Canucks, this might be possible. Now, without a doubt, the Vancouver Canucks have some amazing pieces here. JT Miller, Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser, Connor Garland, Jake DeBrusk. A lot of these guys are performing this season. Brock Besser, get well soon. You're one of my favorite players, and it sucks to see you not on the ice. When it comes to the defense, that's in a pretty solid spot as well. Desharnais, I'm trading you away. That's non-negotiable. You will be leaving this team. And then Thatcher Demko, you're going to be starting the entire season for us. You're going to be our goaltender heading into the postseason. When Thatcher Demko's healthy, he's a top 5 goaltender. That's when he's healthy, though. And he hasn't been healthy. So this is going to be trade number 1. Lecker-Mackey, Desharnais, and Forbert are all going to be sent over to Tampa. Darren Radish, JJ Moser, you're going to come help fix this defensive core. I don't even know why I bothered offering that deal. Like, it actually made no sense. Like, clearly it wasn't going to be enough, but also, why would they want a bunch of defensemen? You guys don't need a bunch of defensemen. What you need is 4th round picks. And I have a lot of 4th round picks I can give you. So here's a couple 4th round picks and a 5th round pick. Hopefully that's going to be enough. They're saying it's a little bit low. I actually didn't even say it's a little bit low, but I know it's a little bit low. So here's a 2nd rounder that might be enough to get this one done. They're saying no. How about we do a 2nd and 2 4s? I think if we do this package right here, that should be enough for Darren Radish and JJ Moser. I'm going to send this over. They're saying yes. Deal number 1's complete. So I don't know if we're going to have to give multiple firsts in this deal. I think we will, but I want to bring Marco Rossi to the team. They're going to be saying no. We're doing multiple 1st round picks. Marco Rossi, you're going to be joining the team here, but if I'm giving up multiple 1st round picks, I want a bit more back. Like, there's a couple decent players. Frederick Gaudreau, honestly, you wouldn't even be that bad. You could play some bottom 6 minutes for us. You know what? That's where you fit. So Frederick Gaudreau, we're going to try to bring you to the team, but never mind, we're on your no trade list. Ain't no way. Frederick Gaudreau holding the team back. We can't even get Ryan Hartman here. Okay, maybe we're not going to make as many deals with this team as I thought. What I mean is we're not going to get as many players as I thought. We're going to offer a package over like this. They're saying no. I'll take the 2nd round route. Minnesota, please accept the deal. There we go. That might be all we're able to do here. But I feel like we should be able to pull off one more trade. So we're going to finish it off with this deal. Brandstrom, a 2nd rounder, and Kiefer Sherwood are going to be sent over to St. Louis. Sundquist and Jake Neighbors, welcome to the team. So if the Vancouver Canucks had any weaknesses, they're now fixed. We have an amazing forward core here. The defense is looking great with JJ Moser and Darren Radish join the team. And then when it comes to goaltending, Thatcher Demko, as I said, when you're healthy, you're a top 5 goaltender, but you just got to be healthy. And you know what? You're going to be healthy in this simulation. Injuries are off. Vancouver, be the first team to win a Stanley Cup. Okay, it is very possible for the stupidest thing of all time to happen. Vancouver's 5th in the entire league, a 49-27-6 record. Us winning the Stanley Cup wouldn't be the stupidest thing of all time. It's based on who we play in the postseason. JT Miller, 104 points. Pettersson, 89 points. Quinn Hughes, 88 points. Garland was great. Brock Besser was great. Marco Rossi was great. Everyone we picked up was great here. Goaltending, that was pretty solid from Thatcher Demko. Kevin Lankinen, you were atrocious this season. That's why Thatcher Demko had to play 75 games. Kevin Lankinen was getting pulled every other game, but we're taking on the Seattle Kraken in the 1st round. Watch Joey Decord put on an absolute masterclass and eliminate us in the 1st round. Not like I can see it all happening right now. Joey Decord masterclass incoming. We're dropping game number 1. You better not drop game 2. Luckily, we're going to win that one. Alright, we should cruise from here on out. The boys have figured it out here. Thatcher Demko's playing amazing in between the pipes. Close it out in game number 5, and let's move on to the 2nd round. Lately, we've actually been looking really good when it comes to the 1st round. Normally, we can get out of the 1st round. All of our problems arise twice after the first round. We're moving into the second round. We're taking on the Minnesota Wild. They don't have Marco Rossi anymore. He's on our team, and the boys continue to roll. I got to take that back immediately. Never mind. We're still rolling here. We lost game number 2, and I got a bit worried, but it doesn't matter. The Vancouver Canucks aren't losing. We're in the conference finals. Very rarely do we ever see success in the conference finals, but we finally made it here. We're taking on the Dallas Stars next. Dallas is one of the best teams in the entire league. We're dropping game number 1. We're going to win game 2. We have to win game 3, but we're going to drop that one. But luckily, we split the series so far. Game 5 is a must win. We have to win this one. Are the boys going to make it to the Stanley Cup final? We have to win one more game and we're in the Stanley Cup final. Vancouver, don't choke. Whatever you do, don't choke right now. We're taking on Dallas in game number 6. It's going to be a massive game 6. Hold on in the third period. I need you guys to lock in the third period. Stanley Cup final. We've made it here. The Vancouver Canucks have made it to the Stanley Cup final. All hands on deck. Nobody mess up here. I need elite defense. I need elite everything. We're not losing to Toronto. I refuse to lose to the Maple Leafs. It all comes down to this. One final matchup. All we have to do is beat the Toronto Maple Leafs, and we're going to do that. We have to win game 5, though. We're simulating game 5. We're jumping into Simcast. We can't lose this game. Game 5 is the most important game we have seen in probably 20 years. This is the most important. Vancouver's picking up the first goal, showed to Elias Pettersson. We're picking up 4 goals. We're winning this one 5-1. We have to win game 6. Game 6 for the Stanley Cup final, and we've finally done it. So here we go. Game 6, taking on the Toronto Maple Leafs. They're picking up the first goal. Moving into the second period, we're going to tie this game up. Please show up. Win this game right here. Win it in overtime. We did it. Connor Garland did it for us. I just realized I now have to buy a Vancouver Canucks jersey. Okay, after doing the math, the cheapest jersey I can buy is $250. That is the cheapest, and it's on sale, getting $50 off. Yeah, I'm not doing that. I am not spending $250 on Elias Pettersson jersey, and it's last season's jersey just to save a bit of extra money. That is absurd. So we finally did it. We won a Stanley Cup. JT Miller, Connor Garland, Elias Pettersson, Brock Besser, Marco Rossi, Quinn Hughes, all of you were a part of this journey. Thatcher Demko, thank you so much. You helped us do the impossible. We finally won a Stanley Cup. I am trading for you regardless of the next team we get. You're going back to back with us. If I can find a reasonably priced Vancouver Canucks jersey, which I will, I'll buy that one. But I gotta find a cheap one. Also, we got the Islanders, so we won't be trading for Thatcher Demko. That wouldn't make any sense. Like, respectfully, what do I do with this? I can't move any of these guys. And some of the guys that I would move, I don't want to. They have value. Like, realistically, Matt Barzal's not getting traded, but Horvat can't. Anders Lee, I guess we could trade you away and free up that $7 million, so we might trade you away. Ryan Pollock's not getting traded away. Brock Nelson's not going to get traded away. Adam Pelech can't be traded away. Kyle Palmieri, I guess we could trade you away and free up $5 million. There's a few guys we can trade away, but not too many. So how does a deal like this sound? Anaheim, you take on the Anders Lee contract, you take on Kyle Palmieri, and you get this first round pick, but you have to give me Mason McTavish back. It was a pleasure doing business with you. This isn't right. Svechnikov's value is always way higher than this. I don't know why it's so low. We are trading for him. I'm really mad we traded one of our first rounders away because now we have to do a first and second rounder here. I don't know how much more it's going to cost, but I'm going to offer this over to the Carolina Hurricanes. They're saying no. Who's a valuable player on this team? They're getting traded. Pajot, are you interested in going to Carolina? No, you are not. Who's interested? Bolduc, I'll send you over. Hopefully this is going to be enough right here. They're saying no. What else do you want? Is there any more prospects on this team or anyone else I can trade away that has value? Doesn't look like it. All right, what do we have for picks? I'll throw 2 more third rounders into this deal. Please be enough. I want Svechnikov on this team. They're saying no. I think we have to do a 3-team trade. We're doing a 3-team trade. So this is what we're doing. A first rounder, a second rounder, and a 7th rounder over to Columbus. Adam Fantilli, welcome to the team. You're being flipped to Carolina. Andrei Svechnikov, you're going to be joining this team. It's going to be an absolute steal. I don't know how we're finessing you, but we are. I don't know why his trade value is so low, but this is a no-brainer. We are getting this deal done, and we're going to win a Stanley Cup. We're going to go back-to-back here. This deal is ridiculous. I still haven't figured out how we pulled this off, but we did. We actually might not have to do too much more now. Well, this is good to know. If you're a playmaker, you fit on all penalty-killing lines and nowhere else. Just only penalty-killing lines. That's good to know. So this will be the final deal. 2 4th rounders and 2 5th rounders, as well as John Gabriel Pajot. Over to the Utah Hockey Club, we're bringing in Nick Schmaltz. Never mind, no we are not. This is basically one of the best packages we could have offered. But that's a lie, because we're going to finesse Utah. So how about we do this? 2 4th rounders and 2 5th rounders for Toronto second. I'm going to give you that second rounder back now. So if I give you that second round pick back, as well as John Gabriel Pajot and 2 6th rounders and a 7th, is that enough for Nick Schmaltz? Get finesse. Never mind. I'm the one getting finessed here. Okay, what if we do this? Samuel Bolduc, 2 6th rounders and a 7th over to Utah. You give me Ottawa's second round pick. I'm going to flip these picks back to you now. All right, is all of this going to be enough for Nick Schmaltz? Now I'm going to send this over. There we go. We got the deal done. So here we go. Mason McTavish, welcome to the team. Nick Schmaltz, welcome to the team. Svechnikov, welcome to the team here. I think this could be enough. I think this might be enough for us to go back to back here, especially with Sorokin in between the pipes. We got a great goaltending tandem. We're looking to go back to back. We won 1 Stanley Cup. Now we're going to win 8 in a row. I mean, that's an absolute lie, but you know what? A man can dream. All right, so we'll just pack our bags real quick and head out the door. 28th in the entire league. Matt Barzal, 71 points. Everyone was terrible on this team. Like, there was not one single good player on this team. Sorokin had a 900 save percentage. He also had a 342. The fact that you had a 342 with a 900 save percentage is actually a bit impressive, I'm not going to lie. How did you save 90% of the shots you faced, but yet you allowed almost 4 goals per game? I mean, it's not almost 4 goals per game, it's almost 3.5 goals per game, but you get the point. How are we that bad defensively, but yet he had a 900 save percentage? Gotta give respect where respect is due. Sorokin was locked in. Not a single other player. Now, like, I really gained a little confidence after winning with the Vancouver Canucks and then just got stupid. We're moving on to the Utah Hockey Club. Let's see what we can cook up in Utah. So we got the Utah Hockey Club here. Nick Schmaltz, I literally just had you on my team and you let me down. So you better not do that with Utah. We have enough playmakers on this team. We need some snipers such as Dylan Guenther. Dylan Guenther, I don't know why you're not on the first line. Like, it doesn't make sense for you to not be on the first line. Logan Cooley, I'm going to want you on the first line. Nick Schmaltz, you're going to man the second line here. We need a couple snipers, but in reality, the forward core is actually not too bad here. Defensively, we're not a bad team either. And then when it comes to goaltending, I want a slight upgrade. We can't rock with these two guys right here. So we need goaltending and we need a sniper. I wonder which team we can get that from. Give me Brock Besser and give me Thatcher Demko. Brock Besser, welcome to the team. And then Thatcher Demko, what's your trade value at? That might be a little bit difficult, but we'll try to get it done. So we'll start with this. Connor Ingram, I'm going to have to trade you away because we'll have to trade at least one goaltender. Tij Ginla, we're going to have to trade you as well. We're probably going to have to throw a first round pick into this deal. So here you go, Utah. We're giving up your first round pick for this season. We might be getting somewhat close to getting a deal like this done. I'm going to offer it over. They're saying no. What else should we give up? Like, I'm not too sure what else I want to give up in this deal. I guess Josh Stone I can give you up. Maybe Josh Stone's going to be the difference. I'll offer this package over. They're saying no. Another first round pick. So here you go, Vancouver. Another first round pick. Welcome to the team, Thatcher Demko. Welcome to the team, Brock Besser. We're doing a 3-team trade, I guess. So we'll try something like this. A Ginla and a first round pick over to Anaheim. Leo Carlson, Mason McTavish, welcome to the team. That's not going to be enough. I'll give you a second round pick. I don't think we have to do multiple firsts in this deal. Like, if I give you Toronto's second round pick, is that going to be enough to get this deal done? They're saying no. How about we do multiple second rounders? Here's Ottawa's second round pick. I think that should be enough to get this deal done. We got Leo Carlson, we got Mason McTavish. Now let's take both these guys over to Vancouver. So Leo Carlson, Mason McTavish, you're interested in both these guys right here. I could throw another first round pick into this deal and we might be getting a deal done with Vancouver. So Brock Besser and Thatcher Demko, welcome to the team. I'm going to offer this package over. They're saying it's a little bit low. Never in a million years did I think we would actually get this deal done, but we're about to. Here's a third round pick from Utah. Welcome to the team, Thatcher Demko, and welcome to the team, Brock Besser. So we'll pull off one more trade here. 2 second rounders, a third rounder, and a fourth rounder for Keandre Miller. He's going to play some second pairing minutes for us, but once we make this deal, I think we're going to be ready to win. We fixed up the forward core a little bit. We made the defense better. We got an amazing goaltender. There's nothing lacking on this team anymore. So here we go. Logan Cooley, Dylan Guenther, Clayton Keller on the top line. Brock Besser, Nick Schmaltz, Bukestad holding it down the second line. The bottom six is looking pretty solid here. Of course, Sergachev and Sean Durz is going to lead the way when it comes to defense, but we do have Keandre Miller on the second pairing now, so that's not looking too bad. Then when it comes to goaltending, 91 overall Thatcher Demko, he's going 2 for 2 in this video. So it doesn't matter what your record is. As long as we have Thatcher Demko in between the pipes, we're going to be all right. How did the Vancouver Canucks finish ahead of us? They don't even have Thatcher Demko anymore. We have Thatcher Demko. 44, 32, and 6. Don't care about the offense. Don't care about the defense. We got Thatcher Demko. And Thatcher Demko is going to be enough for us to win. Okay, why was our offense this bad? Like, it shouldn't have been this bad here. This is just incredibly disrespectful to a lot of these guys in this team. We should have been way better. Thatcher Demko, you were amazing, and you're going to be amazing in the postseason. You're going to get us another Stanley Cup here. Utah taking on the Dallas Stars in the first round. It's all about Thatcher Demko. Thatcher Demko is really the only player I'm focused on right now. Like, if Thatcher Thatcher Demko wins here. He goes down as a top 5 stick on the ice legend in history, winning 2 Stanley Cups in this video. I thought 1 Stanley Cup was going to be impossible, but this man might win 2 with us. We're winning game number 2. Can we win game 3? Never mind, we're allowing 5 goals, but the boys are still alive in this series. We got to win game number 5. Game number 5 is a must win for us. We're dropping that one 4-1. I don't know if it's Thatcher Demko, I don't know if it's the defense, but the team isn't looking too good right now. The boys just aren't performing when it matters most. Jason Robertson's picking up the first goal. Wyatt Johnston's picking up one. Beauvillier's picking up a goal. Yeah, we lost here. 4-1. All right. Thatcher Demko, you will not go down as the top 5 stick on the ice legend. We lost in the first round. Yeah, ever since we won with Vancouver, it's just gone downhill. Okay, so we all knew the offense was absolutely atrocious during the postseason, but Thatcher Demko, I am so sorry. 1 shutout, a 933 and a 236. Bro posted a 933. Let's just take a quick look at our offense here. Let's see what the boys did. So Lawson Krause showed to you. You led the team in goals. You picked up 2. And then Clayton Keller, Nick Schmaltz, Dylan Gunther, Brock Besser all picked up 1. So if you count everyone above Brock Besser, including Brock Besser himself, that is 6 goals. Bukestad had 1. Kesselring had 1. Alexander Kerfoot. That is going to equal 9 goals in 6 postseason games played. We averaged 1.5 goals per game. This man, Thatcher Demko, could have posted a 950 and a 190, and that still wouldn't have been enough because we were only averaging 1.5 goals per game. This Utah team was pathetic in the postseason. So as I just mentioned, we're finally down to our final 8 teams, and it looks like the next one's going to be the Boston Bruins. Boston's got a decent core. Unfortunately, they're without Jim Montgomery. Well, they're without Jim Montgomery in real life. They still got him in the game, so we should be able to help them. So we got the Boston Bruins in front of us. Obviously, they're not an elite team now that Jim Montgomery's gone. I'm going to be honest, Tyler Johnson, I did not realize you were on this team. Since when is Tyler Johnson on the Boston Bruins? Okay, I didn't know that. I honestly didn't know that man was on the Boston Bruins. Did something change in the past because he always been on this team? I just realized Howard Johnson signed with the Boston Bruins a little under a month ago. I didn't know that. I completely missed that signing, but that's neither here nor there. There's not too much we can do with the Boston Bruins because of all the no movement clauses and all the no trade clauses. But you know what? We'll find a way to do something. So this is what we're doing. Andrew Peak, a second, a young player in a 3rd round, is going to be sent over to the LA Kings. We're going to bring in Mikey Anderson. He's going to be a nice upgrade to the defense here. I think we might have to use a 1st rounder in this deal. Boston doesn't have too many picks that we can work with here, so we're going to try a 1st round pick. Hopefully this can be enough here. It should be enough. Surprisingly though, it's not enough here. Okay, the LA Kings are definitely finessing us here. Even a 3rd round pick's not enough, so here's the 2nd rounder. We're giving up way too much in this deal, but I really want Mikey Anderson. Okay, y'all are bugging. Y'all are bugging so much right now, but I really want Mikey Anderson, so here's a 3rd round pick as well. We got finesse there, but we got finesse in a good way. The Boston Bruins are so incredibly cap tight, there's very few moves we can actually make, but we could pick up JJ Peterka. You know what? I think JJ Peterka will be an incredible player for us. He's going to play some top 6 minutes. I'll throw a couple more picks into the deal. Hopefully this is going to make the difference. JJ Peterka, welcome to the team. Boston, let's get you a Stanley Cup. You guys are in a bit of a drought right now. It's time to end it. So we didn't make too many changes here. We brought JJ Peterka in. We called Matt Poitras up from the AHL. And then when it comes to the defense, of course, we trade for Mikey Anderson. Defensively, we're the best team in the entire game. There is no way we're not the best team in the entire game. We're not going to be allowing any goals here. When it comes to scoring goals, that might be our one lone weakness. Everything else I'm perfectly fine with. It's the fact that we might not score enough goals here, but that's why we brought JJ Peterka in, a great sniper. He's going to solve that issue for us. Now, I think we might go this entire video without ever finishing 1st in the entire league. I'm really surprised the Boston Bruins are 9th, considering we had 49 wins here. I thought that would have been good enough for top 5, but apparently not. No, like, we're never going to win the President's Trophy in this video. For the longest time, I thought we weren't going to win a Stanley Cup, but show it to the Vancouver Canucks. They finally won us the Stanley Cup. But yeah, 1st in the entire league, I thought would be an easier task than winning a Stanley Cup. But you know what? It's actually been the opposite here. Jeremy Swayman, he had pretty solid numbers. The goal scoring numbers from this team weren't too bad here. David Pastrnak, 48 goals. Pavel Zacha picked up 22. JJ Peterka, I brought you here to score goals, and you picked up 17 goals from me. So yeah, you didn't really live up to the hype here. We're taking on the Buffalo Sabres in the 1st round. Theoretically, the Buffalo Sabres shouldn't be a tough matchup for us. But you know what? A lot of stupid things have happened in this video, so don't be surprised if we choke. Like, we were a borderline 50 win team. I feel like we should be able to get out of the 1st round here, but unfortunately we're exchanging the first 2 games. We're going to be dropping game number 3. Don't drop game number 4. I hate this team. This is going to be a really quick rebuild with the Boston Bruins because we're going to be folding here. Maybe not. We're off to game 6. I'm not going into Simcast because it's working so far. Now I'm going to head into Simcast. Just kidding. We have to keep on simulating. We've won back-to-back games, make it 3 straight games. This is why I didn't jump into Simcast. I didn't jump into Simcast because this team is rolling. We've won 3 straight games, and I think we're going to keep on winning here. We're winning game number 1. We're winning game 2. Let's win game number 3. Close it out in game 4. Unfortunately, it's not going to happen. I thought we were about to win 7 straight games, but you know what? We're going to start a new winning streak here. We're taking down the Washington Capitals. The boys can't stop. They won't stop. The Bruins are off to the conference finals, and now we have the Carolina Hurricanes up next. The Carolina Hurricanes, obviously, they're going to be a great team if they've made it this far, but the Boston Bruins are also a great team. We've allowed 14 goals in the past 2 games. I'm starting to get very concerned here, but why am I going to be concerned? We're going to respond to game number 5, and then in game number 6, we're going to be dropping that one 3-1. We're off to game 7. I can't jump into Simcast. Simcast has been bad luck. Should have jumped into Simcast. We lost 4-2. I was going to jump into Simcast for that game, but we were down 3-1 in the first round, and I felt like the boys were rolling. I didn't want to mess anything up, so I just allowed us to simulate that game, and clearly that was the wrong choice. Boston Bruins falling in Game 7 of the conference finals. The Carolina Hurricanes winning the Stanley Cup. We can't catch a break. No, like seriously, why can I not catch a break here? I just want to win Stanley Cups. I am here to win Stanley Cups, and we can't do that. Pasternak was great, 12 goals, 15 assists. JJ Peterka was amazing. Brad Marchand was great. Elias Lindholm was great, and I feel like Jeremy Swayman was really good in the postseason as well. Okay, these numbers are actually a bit surprising. Granted, in back-to-back games, you did allow 7 goals in 2 straight games, so that's 14 goals right there. So that's definitely not going to help the save percentage and goals against, but I just felt like your numbers were better than that. I don't know, maybe I was holding Jeremy Swayman to too high of expectations. A 909 to 314 is definitely not going to be good enough here. The boys are falling. Okay, I don't hate the Vancouver Canucks, but I'm not going to lie, I will be a little bit annoyed if the Vancouver Canucks are the only team in this video that wins the Stanley Cup. Like, there's no way out of 32 NHL franchises, the Vancouver Canucks are the lone team to win. That just wouldn't make any sense. We have the Ottawa Senators up next, arguably one of the biggest disappointments in the NHL. Like, this team just never gets it right. So we have the Ottawa Senators to rebuild next, and I just know for a fact this team's going to be a massive failure. It doesn't matter who we bring to this team. We could bring in Cale Makar, Nathan McKinnon, Connor McDavid, Austin Matthews. This team will still fail. I don't know what it is. I just know the Ottawa Senators are going to fail. Am I being pessimistic about the Ottawa Senators? Absolutely not. I am being realistic. This team stinks. Like, for a bit of context right now, the Ottawa Senators are 27th in the entire league. But don't worry, Ottawa, you're going to get a really good pick this year. But if you do get a really good pick this season, you better not get a really good pick next season, because you have to forfeit that one. You have to forfeit one of your first round picks for the next 2 seasons. It's either going to be this season's, which it clearly won't be because you guys stink, or next season's. So you're going to have to forfeit next season's first round pick. Bunch of absolute idiots over there in Ottawa. It doesn't matter how good you think this team will be, they'll be bottom 5. They're just terrible no matter what. Okay, that's enough ripping on the Ottawa Senators for absolutely no reason. Like, all of that was just unnecessary. But yeah, let's go make some trades. Alright, so let's make a splash immediately here. A first round pick, Josh Norris and David Perron is going to be sent over to the LA Kings. Adrian Kempe, Quentin Byfield. We need a lot of help on this team, and you 2 guys are going to help us. Now, we haven't offered enough yet, but you know what? I think we might have to throw a prospect in this deal. And who's that prospect going to be? Of course, Carter Yakimchuk. He's going to make the difference here. LA, send me those 2 amazing assets. Alright, so here's the next deal we're going to make. It's going to be Nick Jensen, a first and second rounder, over to the Minnesota Wild. We're going to bring in Brock Faber. He's going to be our number 1 right defenseman. We're also bringing in John Merle, but the only reason we're doing this is just to make the contracts work. I'm going to try to send this package over. It's not going to be enough. I don't know how many valuable young assets we have, but we'll probably throw a couple in this deal. Like, I don't know what the prospect pool for the Ottawa Senators is looking like, but you do have this unsigned rookie, so I'm going to send him over in the deal, and it looks like that's going to be enough. Now, this deal certainly won't be easy, but I want to bring Morgan Frost and Bobby Brink to the team. I don't think we can get both guys in this deal. They're saying no. Alright, we're gonna have to do this one by one, I think. Like, I think we're gonna have to start with a deal like this. 2 third rounders and a Madio for Morgan Frost. I'm offering that over. They're saying no. I'll give you a 4th rounder as well. Actually, we don't have a 4th rounder, so here's a 5th rounder, and that should be enough for Morgan Frost. They want 2 5th rounders. Honestly, I'm perfectly fine with doing a deal like this, so I'm gonna send it over to Philly. We need to sweeten the value just a little bit here. No, this deal might be impossible. I mean, what am I talking about? Here's another 3rd round pick. So we're doing 3 third rounders, a Madio, and a 5th round pick for Morgan Frost. Now we're going to circle back and get Bobby Brink. Okay, we could have made that last deal incredibly simple. I forgot Xavier Bourgault was on the team. So yeah, him and a 5th round pick over to Philly for Bobby Brink. That's how simple it could have been. So here's the new and improved Ottawa Senators: Quentin Byfield, Adrian Kempe, Morgan Frost, Bobby Brink. All these guys are going to be joining the forward course. That was a massive turnover. Of course, we got Brock Faber to help on the defense. I think we actually might be in a better spot here. Completely ignored the 3rd pairing. We have terrible line chemistry there. Nothing we can do do about that. Linus Ullmark, I need you to go back to your Boston Bruins days. I need you to carry this team to greatness. I don't know why I said Boston Bruins days, acting like that was just so long ago. Like when you think about that sentence, you're like, oh yeah, he's got to go back to his Boston Bruins days from like 8 years ago. Go back to your Boston Bruins days from like 6 or 7 months ago. Yeah, it hasn't really been that long. Now this might be the most impressive thing we've seen today. I turned the Ottawa Senators into a playoff team. The Ottawa Senators just became a playoff team. My work here is done. The greatest thing of all time has happened. The Ottawa Senators have made the postseason. This is bigger than the Toronto Maple Leafs winning a Stanley Cup. At this point, the Toronto Maple Leafs winning a Stanley Cup might be more likely than the Ottawa Senators making the postseason. It doesn't matter who is on this team. They will fail, and they will fail all the time. We're taking on the Detroit Red Wings in the first round. Who are we going to see in the second round? The Toronto Maple Leafs. Isn't that ironic? Okay, it's time for the Senators to lock in. We're winning game number 1. We're moving into game 2. We're winning that one. Linus Ullmark's been amazing so far. It's got to continue into game number 3. He's allowing 5 goals. We're allowing 3 goals in game number 4. The collapse has started for the Ottawa Senators. What's going to happen in game number 5? We're dropping that one 3-2. All right, can we make the comeback here? Can the Ottawa Senators make the comeback? Nope, we lost 4 straight games. Ain't no way. 6th in the entire league, by the way. 49 wins. And the boys are knocked out in the first round. Honestly, I'm not surprised about that. So we're going to see the Vancouver Canucks winning the Stanley Cup here. Shout out to the Vancouver Canucks, the only team that hasn't let me down so far. The Ottawa Senators looked great through 2 games, and then everything went wrong after that. The team collapsed. Linus Ullmark didn't collapse, though. A 921 to 244. It was literally the offense and only the offense. I can't expect Linus Ullmark to be much better than that. So we're down to our final 6 teams. I believe we got a couple Canadian teams left on this wheel. I think it might be only one Canadian team, but that doesn't matter. We got the Buffalo Sabres up next. So we got the Buffalo Sabres up next here, and there is one thing that's pretty funny. JJ Peterka, you don't necessarily have great line fits here. Even on your original team, you don't have good line fits. I don't even know how that works. I don't know how you have atrocious line fits, but that's neither here nor there. When it comes to goaltending, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, we're going to rely on you. Devin Levi will more than likely be the backup. I mean, I guess we could rock James Reimer. Doesn't really matter too much. We're going to make a handful of trades here. The forward core needs a couple upgrades. It actually needs a handful of upgrades. We need an elite playmaker. Now, one guy that would fit the Buffalo Sabres timeline here, and he'd be a great addition to the team, Casey Mittelstadt. Yeah, if only this guy had been on the Buffalo Sabres in the past, he would have been an incredible player. But I guess we're going to have to trade 2 second-round picks and Coolidge for him. Casey Mittelstadt, you'd be an incredible player. It's so unfortunate that you're not on the Buffalo Sabres. Like, you would fit this core so well. It's sad to see that you're not here. I'll give up a 3rd-round pick as well. They're saying no to that. Do you want another 3rd-round pick? Like, I'm giving you more than enough here. Like, look at the trade values. We're getting finessed here. Now, y'all are wildin'. So how about we do a deal like this? A 3rd-rounder, Peyton Krebs, and a 2nd-round pick. This fits your trade block a little bit better. They're saying no to that. We'll do 2 3rd-rounders then. Low-key, we are getting finessed out here. Like, the Colorado Avalanche are finessing us, but Casey Mittelstadt would be a great player for us. Bro, accept the deal. Just accept this deal. Here's a 4th-rounder as well. I don't want to do any more than this. Accept this deal. Thank you, Colorado. You're way too difficult with this, though. So this is going to be the next deal. Samuelson, Henry Jokiharju, and a 1st-round pick is going to be sent over to the Kraken. Adam Larson's going to be brought in. He'll be a good right defenseman for us. We're bringing in Tovan. He's going to give us some goal scoring, and we're also going to get a 2nd-round pick here. But now we got to trade for another left defenseman because with the loss of Samuelson, we're not the same. However, St. Louis does have a couple good left defensemen that we could acquire. Now, one of them being Pierre-Olivier Joseph. He's an 83 overall, and he fits on the 3rd pairing. So that's the guy we're picking up here. So this is the deal we're going to do. It's going to be Seattle 2nd-rounder, Hellenis, and Johnson. All of these assets are going to be sent over to St. Louis. Pierre-Olivier Joseph and Sundqvist are going to join the team here. Now, I think Buffalo might be ready to roll now. Now, we're going to do a deal like this just so we can get slightly better when it comes to overall. Zach Benson is going to be traded away. We're going to bring in Logan Cooley. Logan Cooley's 3 overalls higher. We could probably go pretty close to 1-for-1 here. They're going to say no to that one. What if I give you a 2nd-round pick? Do we even have a 2nd-round pick? Yes, we do. So Zach Benson, a 2nd-round pick. That'll be enough for Logan Cooley. So this is what the new team's looking like. Of course, Casey Mittelstadt joined the team. Logan Cooley's going to join the team. He has an atrocious line fit, but you know what? He's going to make it work. Oscar Sundqvist, Tolvanen, those are going to be 2 great additions to the 3rd line. When it comes to the defense, that's looking a lot better here just based on what the line fits are looking like. Adam Larson, you got to play some great defense for me. Pierre-Olivier Joseph, just play your role and we'll be in a great spot. And then when it comes to goaltending, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, be the guy. That's really all I have to say about Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen. Just be the guy here and we'll be perfectly fine. So the Buffalo Sabres were incredible this season. Rasmus Dahlin's leading the way with 80 points. Casey Mittelstadt's picking up 69 points. Tage Thompson 67. We had great plus minuses across the board. Do we have anyone with a negative plus minus? No, we didn't. This team was just completely dominant. And then when it comes to goaltending, Ukko-Pekka Luukkonen, he was the man for us. 35 wins, 4 shots, a 915 to 276. He's up to an 87 overall. I can't wait for our playoff run. Yeah, about that. 46 wins didn't get us into the postseason. We missed the playoffs with 46 wins here. The Toronto Maple Leafs made it over us. They held the second wildcard spot with 49 wins. We had to win nearly 50 games this season just to make the playoffs. The Buffalo Sabres weren't a bad team by any means. The league was just so incredibly competitive. We had 12 teams record 100 points this season. 12 teams recorded 100 points. No, the top of the league must have been completely stacked, and the bottom of the league must have been absolutely atrocious here. Seattle 26 wins, San Jose 28 wins, Philly 29 wins, the Islanders 28 wins, the Montreal Canadiens 29 wins. We had 5 teams with less than 30 wins. No, the league was so top heavy, it was actually ridiculous. But yeah, 46, 29, and 7, not good enough for the postseason nowadays. Out of all the teams we rebuilt so far, the Buffalo Sabres had the toughest hand by far. They won 46 games and still couldn't get into the playoffs. You gotta feel bad for them. The Buffalo Sabres playoff drought's gonna continue because the Atlantic Division was so incredibly loaded. We're moving over to the Metro Division. We got the Washington Capitals up next. Let's get OV one more cup. So we're rebuilding the Washington Capitals. Dylan Strome needs to have X factors. This is incredibly disrespectful. Alexander Ovechkin, get well soon. You hate to see Alexander Ovechkin getting injured. You hate to see anybody getting injured, but Ovi, he was on pace to break that goal record, and he might not be able to do it this season. I think he'll still be able to do it, but you know what? Only time will tell. Defensively, we have a pretty solid team here. Goaltending, both of these guys should be above an 84 overall, but that's neither here nor there. Both of them have played some great hockey this season. We're going to make a couple small tweaks. Now, this is a deal I would certainly like. Ivan Miroshnichenko and a second-round pick sent over to the Anaheim Ducks to bring in Mason McTavish. He can play some top 6 minutes for us. I actually don't care how much I have to give up in this deal. I really want to bring Mason McTavish to the team, so we'll do multiple second-round picks, and hopefully this can be enough right here. Of course it isn't. Do we do 2 Washington second-round picks? We might as well do 2 Washington second-round picks. Washington second-round picks have more value, so I'll send this package over. They're still saying no. Do you want another second round pick? Like, do we have to do 3 seconds in this deal? Not gonna lie, this is a bit much, but you know what? We're getting Mason McTavish, so it's gonna work out for the team. So TJ Oshie, a St. Louis Blues legend. Sad to say that your career is probably done here after that last injury. We're gonna trade you away here over to the Calgary Flames along with the first round pick. Sharon Govich and a second round pick are gonna be acquired. The NHL is not the same without TJ Oshie. Now I think we're gonna make one more trade, and that's gonna be Matt Japani, a second and fourth rounder over to the Columbus Blue Jackets. We're gonna bring in Marchenko. He's gonna provide some bottom 6 scoring for us. I think the team might be ready to go. We didn't touch the defensive core and we didn't touch the goaltending, but I don't think we have to. I think that's in a great position. So the Washington Capitals is going to be a pretty quick rebuild here. Marchenko is going to join the team. Sharon Govich is going to join the team. Mason McTavish has joined the team. The bottom 6 is going to be looking really solid here. Defensively, I think this team's actually in a really good spot, especially with these 2 goaltenders in between the pipes. It doesn't matter who's going to be the starter, but I want it to be Charlie Lindgren, St. Louis Blues legend. Let's go back to when Charlie Lindgren played for the St. Louis Blues. 5 wins, a 958, and a 122. I'm going to be honest, still don't understand why we just let this man walk away. Haven't figured that one out still. To this day, haven't figured it out. I also can't recall Ville Husso was on the team during that stretch. For some reason, I think Ville Husso was still on the team. Don't quote me on that one. But then when it came to the depth chart, when it came to goaltenders, we had Ville Husso, we had Jordan Binnington, and then we had Joel Hofer in the system. Charlie Lindgren just didn't really fit anywhere. Granted, I still wanted to keep him on the team. And in hindsight, probably should have done that. Yeah, so we're going to pretend this season didn't happen. The Washington Capitals rebuild, it didn't happen here. Shout out to Alexander Ovechkin though. Although he only had 68 points, he did have 40 goals. Unfortunately, 40 goals isn't going to be enough for the record here, so yeah, that's very disappointing. Like, bro really finished 1 goal shy of breaking the record. Yeah, this rebuild was an absolute wash with the Washington Capitals. Neither goaltender was great. I was gassing up these goalies. I'm like, you know what? We got 2 amazing goaltenders here. We don't have to worry about the goaltending. We don't have to worry about the defense. Those are 2 things that we should have worried about because both of them were atrocious. So yeah, let's spin that wheel. We got 4 teams left. Let's try to win at least 1 Stanley Cup. Like, basically in any other circumstance with having 4 teams left, I would say, you know what? Let's try to win at least 3 Stanley Cups. I know for a fact I'm not winning 3 Stanley Cups. We're hoping we can win 1 here. We got the Pittsburgh Penguins up next. This is going to be a tough one. So it's time to rebuild a massive dumpster fire, the Pittsburgh Penguins. I don't think it's going to be possible to turn this team around. I'm going to be completely honest. I don't think it really matters what we do here, but we do have to trade for Thatcher Demko. Tristan Jarry, you are not that man. I refuse for you to be our number 1. Not gonna lie, that's tough. That's real tough. Can't even use Trade Finder for this man. I don't really care where Tristan Jarry goes. He's just not gonna play for us. Alright, so Lucas Dahlstrom, I'm not trading for you to be the starter here, but I just think you'd be a really good backup for us. You're an 84 overall, I believe. Yeah, you're an 84 overall. So Jarry and a 3rd round pick's gonna be sent over. They're saying no. I think Jarry, a 3rd and a 7th might be enough here. So if we're able to ditch the Tristan Jarry contract like this, that's gonna be amazing. Love to see it. Alright, Vancouver, it's time for us to give you multiple 1st round picks. Now I'm just kind of praying that this is enough. Lucas Dahlstrom, and 2 first-round picks for Thatcher Demko. Please be enough. They're saying no. I have a second-round pick that has a lot of value. Please say yes to this. We also have St. Louis' second-round pick we can throw into this deal. We're going to do 2 first-rounders, 2 second-round picks, and Lucas Dostal. All of this for Thatcher Demko. He's got to save our season. Never mind. He will not be saving our season. Alright, so I don't think Pittsburgh has enough old players on the team. So Sergei Bobrovsky, welcome to the Pittsburgh Penguins. You are 35 years old, but that's perfectly fine with me. Let's go win a Stanley Cup. They're saying no to this package right here. Granted, we are not fitting their trade block in the slightest. But you know what? If we overpay by enough, I think we'll get this deal done. I threw a second rounder in the deal. We got this one done. So we have a goaltender now. We picked up a nice forward, but we could make 1 or 2 more trades. Alright, so we got to get a bit better when it comes to the forward core. So Cody Glass, 2 third-rounders in a second is going to be shipped out. But you know what? Let's try to pick up Caden Gooley while we're at it. Like, why not try to improve the defense? If we can make our defense slightly better, definitely wouldn't hurt us. So we'll throw Ryan Graves into this deal, and then hopefully this package right here is going to be enough. I'm saying that over. Montreal's going to be saying no. How about we do this? Cody Glass and a second-round pick for Kirby Dach. Hopefully Montreal says yes to this. They're saying no. A couple 7th-round picks might make the difference. Like, we're probably just going to have to do this as 2 separate trades, but I'll do something like this. I'll throw a 7th-rounder and a 6th-rounder into the deal, and I think that's enough for Kirby Dach. Yes, it is. Now we'll just circle back and get Caden Gooley. So now if I do a deal like this for Caden Gooley, I think it's going to be enough. Montreal's accepting. It's time for Pittsburgh to win another Stanley Cup. Alright, so I did everything I could with the Pittsburgh Penguins. That's partially true, but that's also partially a lie here. Because when you look at the defense, St. Ivory, you're going to be playing on our 3rd pairing. Jack St. Ivory, you're 75 overall. Not really ideal here, but you know what? We made the trades that we had to. Sergei Bobrovsky, welcome to the team, 89 overall. He's going to get us into the postseason. This Pittsburgh Penguins team is going to surprise a lot of people, and we're going to win a Stanley Cup. If we don't make the playoffs, though, I have to take all the blame for not getting a better 3rd pairing defenseman. If Jack St. Ivory's not enough here, then that's all my fault. Well, I got to hold that L. I have to hold that L for the Pittsburgh Penguins. I want to apologize to the franchise. I want to apologize to the fans. You expected more from this team. You expected more from me, and I let you down. Okay, maybe I didn't let you down. Hold on. We got to look at the defensive pairings real quick. Maybe I didn't let you down. I don't know where St. Ivory is, but I might not have let you down here. Because Chris Letang was minus 23. Caden Gooley was minus 16. I don't think I let you down. Goaltending-wise, Sergei Bobrovsky was great this season. Nedeljkovic was terrible, so he held us back here. But maybe I didn't let you guys down as much as I thought I did. Like, in reality, I actually made the right trades here. Kirby Dach, maybe you weren't good enough for the second line. Michael Bunting, you certainly weren't good enough. Rust, you weren't good enough here. But that's not necessarily my fault. That's the fact that this Pittsburgh Penguins core is incredibly old and they keep on getting older here. But Jack St. Ivory, I really want to know what your numbers were this season. Because if you were good on the 3rd pairing, then it actually wasn't my fault. Okay, it's actually not Jack St. Ivory, it's Jack St. Ivane. Close enough. I was pretty close when it came to that. But bro was plus 8 this season. 7 goals, 10 assists, 17 points, and he was plus 8 as a 75 overall. He wasn't actually the problem here. He actually played his role. He was really good on the 3rd pairing. I can't complain about what he did. It's the fact that the Pittsburgh Penguins are basically a glorified retirement home. Like, this team over the next 2 years is just going to get worse and worse because the old core is going to age and they can't free up any money. So yeah, it's going to be tough for them. But no point wasting our time with the Pittsburgh Penguins. Let's move on to our next team, the Edmonton Oilers. This is a team right here I would feel confident making 0 trades with. However, we are going to make 1. So we're the Edmonton Oilers, a fantastic team right here. We don't need to make that many trades. If anything, we're only going to make 1 trade. Actually, that's a lie. We're going to make 2 trades. I want to make the defense slightly better, but goaltending, I'm not putting my faith in Stuart Skinner. I refuse to do that. Please accept this, Vancouver. Please, please, please accept this deal right here. That's a tough look. Now, I'm not going to complain about this deal right here. Stuart Skinner, a 1st and 3rd rounder over to the Ottawa Senators. Linus Ullmark, Bedard Docker, welcome to the team. We're going to be able to win a Stanley Cup with those 2 guys. Getting a massive upgrade in between the pipes here. Linus Ullmark's definitely going to be able to win with us. No question in my mind. I really wish they would accept this deal, though. Here's a 2nd round pick. Here's another 2nd round pick. This should be more than enough for Ottawa. Just say yes. Just say yes to this deal right here. Like, this is a fair deal. This is a fair deal by absolutely every metric. Just say yes. Thank you, Ottawa. Thank you for finally accepting. But that took way too much. So we didn't touch the forward core whatsoever. The defensive core got a massive upgrade here. Bernard Docker, you're going to be helping this team a ton here. We have better line chemistry now just because of that one move. And then in between the pipes, Linus Ullmark, 88 overall. There is no way this Edmonton team doesn't win a Stanley Cup. If we don't, it's rigged. Are you telling me we just can't finish higher than 5th in the entire league? A 50, 26, and 6 record, and we still couldn't get anything better than 5th in the entire league. The best team was the Winnipeg Jets, who finished 2nd in the entire league. But you're telling me after bringing Linus Ullmark to the team, we still couldn't get the President's Trophy. 126 points from McDavid, 115 points points from Draisaitl. Zach Hyman was actually useful for us. He picked up 104 points. Nah, ain't no way this team isn't dominating. Linus Ullmark, he allowed 3 goals per game. Yeah, we're going to pretend I didn't see that. We have the Vegas Golden Knights in the first round. Edmonton, you have to win. I'm sorry, but we're done with this. We're done with the absolute nonsense. Edmonton, you have to win. And because so much is on the line here, we're simming right to the end of the season. We're simming to June 11th. Let's just sit here and watch. We have to win. No choking. We're winning game number 1 in overtime. That's amazing, but we have to win game 2 here. Moving into game 2, we're winning that one in overtime as well. Win game 3, take a commanding 3-0 series lead. Why would we do that? Just don't drop back-to-back games here. Luckily, we have a 3-1 series lead and we're not going to choke that away. We're winning game 5 and we're off to the second round. I refuse to lose with the Edmonton Oilers. We're taking on the Nashville Predators next. We're going to sweep Nashville and move on to the conference finals. Winning game 1, dropping game number 2. Just don't drop back-to-back games. As long as we're never down in the series, we'll be in a good spot. Right now, we're up in the series, but we're dropped game number 4. We won game number 5 and we won game 6. Here we go, the conference finals. And who do we get to take on? The Winnipeg Jets of all teams. But luckily, the Winnipeg Jets are absolute frauds here and they beat us. They beat us, didn't they? They did. And they won the Stanley Cup. I don't even care what the postseason numbers are. Spin the wheel. We have won 1 Stanley Cup. 1 Stanley Cup. We have the Colorado Avalanche up next. We probably don't have to make too many trades with Colorado. We do have to pick up a goaltender, but outside that, we don't have to do too much with the Avs. Nah, but seriously, what just went wrong for Edmonton? Like seriously, why did we not win? We should have won here. We shouldn't have choked to the Winnipeg Jets. McDavid had 29 points in 18 games. Draisaitl was incredible. Nuge was incredible. Hyman was incredible. We had amazing scoring here. Was the goaltending atrocious? It wasn't even terrible. I guess we just lost to a better team. That doesn't sit right with me. Now we only have 2 more chances to win a Stanley Cup, the Colorado Avalanche and the Anaheim Ducks. So based on the 2 remaining teams, we have 1 more shot to win a Stanley Cup here. That's with the Colorado Avalanche. I think the only thing we're going to do here is trade for a goalie, because I don't think we can actually afford to do anything else. Like here's everyone with a no movement clause, a no trade clause. We can't move half of this team. We just have to stick with what we have. So we could just do something as simple as this, Georgiev in a second for Freddie Anderson. I mean, more than likely it'll have to be Georgiev in a first round pick, but if we can bring Freddie in here, that's a massive upgrade. So it's going to be Georgiev at first and second rounder for Freddie Anderson. This is a massive upgrade for Colorado once we get this deal done. We basically have to trade all of our assets away in a deal like this, but it's a huge upgrade. It's worth everything that we have to give up. I mean, it's worth everything we have to give up to an extent here. Like we are losing a ton of valuable assets, but you know what? It doesn't matter. Freddie Anderson's joined the team and we're going to get a Stanley Cup. So here we go. The forward core looking exactly the same. The defensive core looking the exact same. When it comes to goaltenders, we have Freddie Anderson now. You have to be the savior. I got nothing to say. I have nothing to say whatsoever. We took Freddie Anderson away from you, and you still were ahead of us. I mean, granted, you have Kochetkov, so it's not like you don't have a backup goaltender, but you're telling me I took away Freddie Anderson, the man who was your number 1, because he was your number 1. He was an 88 overall. He joined our team, posted a 926, a 232, and had 7 shutouts, and we still couldn't finish first in the entire league. We have Utah in the first round. It's Stanley Cup or bust. It's Stanley Cup or bust around here. We're winning the first 2 games 5-2. Good to see the offense is absolutely flying and the defense is looking amazing as well. Let's take a 3-0 series lead and close it out in game number 4 here. A nice sweep to start us off in the postseason. Things are looking great, but we can't stop here. Every time we stop, something goes wrong here, so we just have to build on this momentum. A nice sweep to start us off here. We're moving on to the second round. We have the Dallas Stars. Now, granted, Dallas has a pretty good team, but I think the Colorado Avalanche are slightly better. We finally have a goaltender here. We just allowed 6 goals in game number 1. We're responding in game 2, but we allowed 6 goals in game number 1. I'm very concerned. We split the series so far. Don't lose game 5. Whatever you do, don't drop game 5. And you drop game 5. You guys are absolute frauds. Y'all better not lose in game 6. We can't lose in game 6. I can't rely on the Anaheim Ducks to win a Stanley Cup number 2. We're exchanging goals in the second period. Somehow I actually predicted that. I meant to say we were exchanging goals in the first period, but we're also exchanging goals in the second period. The third period is going to be the most important one, and I just saw that we allowed a ton of goals and we lost. Okay, Anaheim, it all comes down to you. The Anaheim Ducks have to win a Stanley Cup number 2. We have rebuilt 31 NHL teams right now, and we have won 1 Stanley Cup. We're about to head on to franchise number 32 to win Stanley Cup number 2. You can't make this up. You really can't make this up here. I swear, if goaltending fell apart, I'm going to lose my mind. It sort of did. It didn't completely fall apart, but it fell apart. Like, your goals against was borderline 3. Ain't no way Freddie just choked like that. So here we go. We've made it to franchise 32, the Anaheim Ducks. We have to win with this team to get our second Stanley Cup. You heard that right. We have to win our second Stanley Cup with the Anaheim Ducks. This might be impossible, but you know what? Since we haven't won a Stanley Cup yet, and this rebuild has gone absolutely horrid, we're trading every single pick we have. There is nothing off the table here. Every pick the Anaheim Ducks have from 2025 to 2030 is available for trade. Basically, up until this point, I've only been trading 2 years worth of picks. Not anymore. Everything's getting traded away for the Anaheim Ducks. So you already know what team we're headed to first. Dallas Stars. Give me Wyatt Johnston, give me Logan Stankoven, give me Thomas Harley. I need all three of those guys. So Wyatt Johnston, welcome to the team. Thomas Harley, welcome to the team. Logan Stankoven, welcome to the team. Probably going to have to trade Leo Carlson away. But at the end of the day, I'm willing to trade Leo Carlson away to get one of these guys. Actually, I take that back. Cutter Gaucher, I'm willing to trade you away. Cutter Gaucher is going to get traded. A first round pick is going to get traded here. Probably Seneca is going to get traded. This is the starting package. We'll add a bit more into this deal. Actually, I could trade Ryan Strome away. I wouldn't be against trading Ryan Strome away. Even a guy like Troy Terry. Actually, I take that all back. Trevor Zegras, I'm throwing you in this deal. So it's going to be Cutter Gaucher, a first rounder, and Trevor Zegras for Wyatt Johnston, Thomas Harley, Logan Stankoven. They're willing to say yes to that. Let me take that first round pick out. Like, what if I gave you 2 third-rounders and a second round pick? Like, would this be enough here to get Wyatt Johnston, Thomas Harley, Logan Stankoven? They're saying no. We'll throw that first round pick back in the deal. But if I'm giving you my first round pick, I want your third rounder, and then I want your second rounder for 2026. I think this is a pretty fair deal. They're saying no to that. I'll take the third round pick out. We should be pretty close here, and it looks like we are. So a 7th round pick is going to make the difference for the Anaheim Ducks. We're going to be loading up on the talent here. 3 elite players. Actually, it's going to have to be another 7th round pick, but you know what? We're not messing around here. Take the 7th rounder out, put a third round pick in the deal, and we'll get this one done. But we're not done with the trades yet. We're heading over to Florida next. We know they have a handful of guys on really good contracts, and now we're bringing them to the team. All right, so we're absolutely cooking here. Ryan Strome, Seneca sent over to the Philadelphia Flyers. We're bringing in Jamie Drysdale. We'll bring in Jamie Drysdale as well as something else. I guess we can bring in Jamie Drysdale and Cam York. I think this is a pretty solid deal here. I don't really know where Cam York's going to fit on this team, but he'd definitely be an upgrade for us. But the one thing that has to be noted here, Jamie Drysdale, you're actually not going to be sticking around with this team because we're going to end up flipping you. So I took Seneca out of this deal and instead gave them a 3rd and 2nd rounder. Hopefully that's going to be enough for Jamie Drysdale. They're saying no. How much do I care about Cam York? Not that much. So how about we do a deal like this? They're saying no. I'll give you a 3rd rounder. Hopefully Toronto's 3rd round pick is going to be enough to get Jamie Drysdale. Yes, it is. We're heading over to the Florida Panthers. So a 1st rounder in Jamie Drysdale for Sam Bennett and Carver Hagee. I think that's a pretty fair deal. They're willing to say yes to that one. But if they're willing to say yes to that, they might be willing to trade Ekblad. Like, I might just have to give you a little more in order to get a guy like Aaron Ekblad. And if we have to give up just a little bit more, I'm perfectly fine with doing this deal. So I'll give you Seneca in a deal like this, and I think that might be enough. Can we get all these assets right here? We're going to have to throw some picks in the deal. But you know what? I'm definitely not against trading picks, as we know. I'll throw a 2nd rounder into this deal. They're still saying no. We're really close to getting this one done. So I'll give you a 2nd rounder for 2027, and I think this should be enough. Aaron Ekblad, Sam Bennett, Carver Hagee, all of you guys are going to come to the team after I trade another 1st round pick. Like, we're absolutely loading up here, whatever it takes. We are winning by any means possible. Shout out to Brad Marchand for being old at this point, so his trade value is not as high as what it probably should be. 89 overall Brad Marchand, welcome to the team after we somehow get this deal done. Here's 2 4th rounders. All these assets are going to be enough for Brad Marchand. Now he's joined the team. But we're not quite done yet. Alexander Ovechkin, do you have a no movement clause? I'm assuming you have a no movement clause. We're about to find out. You have a no movement clause, but you have a modified no trade. Please say Anaheim isn't on your modified no trade. Can we get a deal like this done? Yes, we can. Alexander Ovechkin, welcome to the team. So we'll do this right here. Frank Vetrano, Matyukov, you're both going to be sent over to the Washington Capitals. Alexander Ovechkin, Martin Feravari, welcome to the team. So here's the final trade. Racco Gudas, a 2nd rounder and a 1st rounder over to the Rangers. Braden Schneider, Capo Caco, both of you guys being acquired here. I don't care what it takes. We have to win another Stanley Cup here. We've gone too long without a Stanley Cup, and it's gotten ridiculous. 2 5th rounders are thrown into this deal. Let's go win. So all it costed us was the next 4 years of 1st round picks and 2nd round picks and a lot of young prospects. But here's the Anaheim Ducks team we're rocking. Wyatt Johnston, Alexander Ovechkin, Troy Terry, Brad Marchand, Sam Bennett, Carver Hagee. The bottom 6 is looking the best it's ever been. Our defense is looking phenomenal here. No weak spots. And then, of course, when it comes to goaltending, we're rocking John Gibson. Lucas Dahlsel is going to be the backup. We better be a top 5 team. There is no reason we shouldn't be a top 5 team. Anaheim, win me a Stanley Cup. You're the last hope for us. We gotta win. Alright, so here we go. It's our last chance at a Stanley Cup. And don't worry, we made the playoffs. 14th in the entire league. This team is way better than 14th in the entire league, and you can't convince me otherwise. This team right here is better than 14th in the entire league. I am sorry. This is a really good team right here. This is absolutely ridiculous. Goaltending was atrocious. John Gibson, I put a good defense in front of you. The numbers should have been better. We're taking on the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. Of course we're taking on the Edmonton Oilers in the first round. This is literally the worst matchup we could have gotten. I would have been happy with any team not named the Edmonton Oilers and not named the Colorado Avalanche, and I guess throw the Winnipeg Jets in that category as well. Any team other than those three right there. Somehow we stole game number 1 away. Not really too sure how we did that. We're dropping game 2. What's going to happen in game 3? That's going to be a massive one. Who's going to be winning that one? Not us. We're going to be dropping that one 5-2. Luckily, we won game number 4. Game 5 is going to be huge. A best of 3 moving on here. We're winning that one 6-2. It's an elimination game for the Edmonton Oilers. We just have to keep on simulating. We beat the Edmonton Oilers. The Anaheim Ducks might win. We have to beat the Vancouver Canucks, though, and that means we have to beat Thatcher Demko. We won game number 1, but we dropped game 2. We dropped game 3. Don't drop game 4. Of course, we dropped game number 4. I rebuilt every team in the NHL. I rebuilt all 32 NHL franchises, and what's going to happen? We're going to lose to the Vancouver Canucks. And you know what? This would be the perfect way to go out. We're not going to go out yet, though. The boys are staying alive. But what I was about to say is this would have been the perfect way to go out. And you know why? The only team to win a Stanley Cup was the Vancouver Canucks. Out of 32 NHL franchises, I rebuilt every single one of them. And the only team to win a Stanley Cup, the Vancouver Canucks, led by Thatcher Demko. Thatcher Demko is a different beast. And you know what? Just like that, the boys are following. 32 franchises. 32 different rebuilds, and to close it all out, the Vancouver Canucks are going to beat the Anaheim Ducks. The Vancouver Canucks, the only team to win a Stanley Cup with me. I don't know what happened in this video. I'm not gonna lie, I rebuilt some amazing teams. I made some incredibly competitive teams, but there was also a lot of nonsense that happened in this video. There is no reason a lot of the teams I constructed should have been as bad as they were. Like, I still haven't gotten over the fact that the Vegas Golden Knights missed the playoffs. The simulation before I rebuilt them, they won the Stanley Cup. The year I take over, they missed the playoffs after making that team better. Like, that just shouldn't happen. There is no way that should have happened.